We are in Manhattan, Kansas with the award-winning solar car. And Wildcat fans are looking to stand tall today against the Marshall Thunder Herd. The kickoff coming up next on Fox Sports Net.
The pass was complete.
It was the best of times. It may be the worst of times. Champions overcome adversity, and the Wildcats are staring into the teeth of Marshall's thundering herd. El Roberson, K-State quarterback, the spark of the Wildcats. Injury sidelined him 2 weeks ago. It may force him to the sideline once again today. But if the Wildcats have the medal of champions, today is the day to prove it to the country. Who will carry the torch for Kansas State? And can the Wildcats claw their way to the top against Marshall's thundering herd? Their lightning offense. The herd likes to go long and often. The undefeated K-State Wildcats battling the thundering herd of Marshall University. Up next on Fox Sports Net.
From the campus of Kansas State University in Manhattan, KSR presents College Football Saturday. As today it's a non-conference battle. The Thundering Herd of Marshall taking on the 6th-ranked Kansas State Wildcats. The big question coming in, who is going to start at quarterback for K-State? All Big 12 El Roberson, or will Jeff Schwinn make his second career start? And Marshall has an injury of the same spot as Stan Hill is out. Ram Kopner gets the call this afternoon. Hi, everybody. Joel Meisland with Dave Lappman. Welcome once again to Manhattan, Kansas. Well, plenty of questions surrounding the quarterback spot for both teams, but there is one guarantee going in. Darren Sproles gets the call at tailback for Kansas State.
Very, very special player, and they want to get him the football often and early in this football game. He returns averaging over 6 yards per carry, #1 in the country, 6.3 to be exact. How does he do it? Well, he's 5'7", so he hides behind that mammoth offensive line. They can't find him. Then all of a sudden he explodes on you with a very rare combination of speed, quickness, acceleration. He makes you miss. You very rarely get a square shot on this guy. He's incredible.
Well, no wide receiver in college football today has more 100-yard games than Darius Watson. Dave, we are truly watching one of the best in the nation.
No doubt, Joel. They call this guy Spider-Man, and with good reason. He's 6'2", he's got very long arms, as you can see, and he's got a 40-inch vertical jump, just like his number. Now, you combine that with 4.3 speed, he is going to make every contested catch, every jump ball he feels is his. This guy's a playmaker, and he elevates his offense to another level. We're looking at a future first-round draft choice, no doubt about it.
So despite the injuries at the quarterback position, it should be a wide-open affair between Marshall and Kansas State. Just about ready to go from Manhattan, Kansas. First, though, let's head to Bill Jones in our Fox Sports Net College Football Saturday studio.
Josh Buell, he is all over the field, guys. Last week against UMass, registered 18 tackles, the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. Josh says he is up for the challenge of trying to slow down the Marshall high-flying offense. Let's see who gets the ball. Looks like Kansas State up next to kickoff between Kansas State and Marshall right after this quick timeout.
Woo! Go K-State! Come on, guys!
Breeze right now blowing behind the kicker for Marshall from the south end zone to the north end zone. And that wind gusting way past 15 miles an hour, upwards of 25 miles an hour. Well, Kansas State wants to get their offense on the field. So right away, Dave, our question's going to be answered. Is El Roberson going to play, and is he going to start? He might play. He may not start.
Yeah, it looks like Schwinn will start this football game. But I have a hunch, just a feeling that El Roberson will play some in this football game for reasons we'll get into as the game progresses.
Going back deep,
Jermaine Marrera is the man in the middle as the ball, and you can tell it's windy. It's blown off the tee now for Clint Rose, the redshirt freshman from Lexington, Kentucky. Marrera is the man in the middle. They'll put 3 back there, but they want the true freshman to handle the football. He's only the 4th true freshman in the 15 years that Bill Snyder has been here that's been able to crack the starting lineup. Young man from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. So the Mid-American Conference against the Big 12, and here we go. And will it stay in bounds? No. A break already, field position-wise, for Kansas State.
Well, that's a true freshman kicking off, and Marshall had been trying a directional kick. Looks like they tried it again and failed.
Now the starting 11 offensively. Kyocera starting lineup. Jeff Schwinn, his 2nd career start. He had 17 completions last week, the most by a K-State quarterback in almost 6 years. That's how much they run the football around here. A big kid, a program guy, a former walk-on who gained a scholarship in 2001. And he's got the respect, as we found out in talking to the coaching staff, of his teammates to put him in the right position. And he can check out of a play very easily. Sproles with penetration will lose a yard, and that's a rarity for a guy that's 15th in the nation in rushing with 119 yards a game. Doty, Lilja, Leckie, who's got the most starts up front, Johnson and Clary. Sproles, all Big 12er with Wilson in front of him. Marrera, the true freshman. Terry, another phenomenal wide receiver, the senior. And L. Roberson. Will he come into the game? He was warming up like he would before the game just about an hour ago.
He was throwing the ball well. Of course, the injury's on his left hand, not his throwing hand.
Now we're going to get a false start on the offense. So 2 negative snaps already, and well, the second one didn't even get underway.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's Al Dowden, veteran Big 12 official. Defensively, it's a 4-3, but really a 4-4. We'll talk about that. Goddard, Brown, Hayes, and Toriano Brown's up there. He's got 5 sacks. Tynes, Atkin, Rembert. They've got to have Rembert coming up big today. Terrell and Smith on the corners is on the quick one. They fire over to Marrera, and he's got to pass the 35 up to the 39-yard line. All-Stater in Florida. 45 catches. His senior season in high school. Brought down by the outside backer, Charles Tynes.
That's a matchup that Kansas State's got to love. A speed receiver on a linebacker. They'll do that all day long. And as you mentioned, you know, Schwinn is a guy that understands the offense maybe even better than L. Roberson in terms of getting into the right play and out of the bad play. He'll get you in the right one 98-99% of the time, the coaches say.
Out of the gun this time on 3rd and 6, only 33%. Shovel, Sproles, forget it. What a stick in the middle of the line. Kevin Atkins, the linebacker, all over the situation. The middle backer did not leave home. A junior from Richmond, Virginia. Big time play.
It sure was, Joel. Great recognition. Not fooled whatsoever by the misdirection. They tried to get Sproles up the middle, where he's very effective at 5'7", running between the tackles. He's hard to find. No problem for Atkins finding him that time.
Right. Will punt it away. Ramel Guidry. Young man who went to high school in Topeka, not far from here, less than an hour away. And into the wind. Boy, he hit it well. Kept it below the wind. He takes a hop for Marshall, but a good job by Bright. As it'll be inside the 20 for Marshall's first possession of the contest. Back at their own 16-yard line. Now the Kyocera starting lineup offensively. Graham Gochner in there again. Probably will start next week against Troy State. Will hold out Stan Hill until the Mid-American Conference 2 weeks from now. So Gochner, good-sized kid at 6'3", 210. He's got good touch. Not as much arm strength, though, as their starter from Tupelo, Mississippi, who's got a sprained knee, Stan Hill. So K-State 3 and out with a punt. Now, what will Marshall do? Moving the pocket by design. The dump off to the tight end Raider. And good yardage out to the 25, close to a first down near the 26. In the open field, big hit by Matt Butler. Otherwise, he's got the first down. McPeak first team All-MAC. Salmon, Stepp, Bullock, and Griffin. A real good one on the right side as well. Wallace and Watts, they go with a single back most of the time. Schrader and Davis, the other 2 wide receivers, they'll spread them out. And they'll also move their tight end a lot. Jason Rader, the senior from St. Albans, West Virginia, who had the first grab. So 2.5 minutes into the contest. It's a first down already for Marshall. There should be plenty of offense this afternoon, Dave.
Wallace, huge hole up the middle for the big back. Into the secondary.
Whoa.
Look out inside the 40 and pulled down from behind all the way inside the 30 at the 29-yard line. Butchie Wallace, the senior from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. What a wake-up call for Kansas State's defense.
No question about it, and he broke the tackle on Tetuan down the football field, but the motion, what they try to do, Marshall, is get 6-on-6 blocking up front. They got their 6 men in the box, and they blocked them well. Off to the races. There's the missed tackle by Tetuan. And, man, Marshall, who's had difficulty running the football this season, Butchie Wallace gets him off and running early.
And they're facing a Kansas State defense who's one of the best in the nation at stopping the run. Only 62 a game. Little deception. Wallace had it, though. Inside the 27, down to the 26. And make it Earl Charles that time on the carry. Shull, Montgomery, Berry, and Huntley, who's got 5 sacks. And the 4-3 alignment for Bill Snyder. Hickman, Butler, and Buell. Buell, the Big 12's Defensive Player of the Week. Jordan on the corner along with Cedric Williams in his first career start. Tetuan in Washington. Williams, a great story. A 23-year-old junior. A transfer from Garden City Community College. He's seen enough of him for a couple of lifetimes. So the guy that's earned his opportunity now to start today. Firing for Darius Watts, just get him into the open field. That's what they do inside the 25, down to the 23.
Number 40,
Darius Watts, one incredible wide receiver. He's College Park, Georgia native, and he's only a junior.
Well, this guy is the real deal. They'll motion him around. They'll line him up sometimes in the bunch formation with 3 receivers, and they'll isolate him, 3 on one side, him all by himself on the other, trying to get the matchups. They want him to get touches of the football because when he touches it, good things happen. Just an incredibly talented athlete.
Now 3rd and 4. And they empty the backfield. No shot, 2 to each side. Tight end out of the formation. And they fire, almost intercepted. Thrown to the direction of Randy Jordan. And Josh Buell was over there as well. Buell almost came up with it, floating back in the coverage.
And Andrew Shell got a great pass rush. He came off the edge and got the hit. But Buell, not only a run defender, nice job. And who's he covering underneath? Watts. I mean, that's a pretty tough assignment right there.
Now the wind is at the back of Ben Lewis. He is 2 for 2 this year with a long of 38. This is a 39-yarder. Plenty of distance. What about the direction?
Nope.
No. Unbelievable. Wasted opportunity after the great run of the first snap. So Ben Lewis, as they've used both Kelly and Lewis in placements this year, misses from 39. Let's see now if Kansas State can make Marshall pay when we come back. Football Saturday. What an atmosphere now. Has this program ever turned around under Bill Snyder? Sold out every Saturday afternoon in Manhattan, Kansas. Just a little over a 2-hour drive from Kansas City. Less than an hour. 15 years now for Bill Snyder. And he turned around a program that was one of the worst in the nation when he arrived. Now Schwinn with heat and a breakdown. Marrera stopped. He thought he was going down the sideline. So that was a busted play. And you have to believe the true freshman didn't read it correctly as opposed to the 5th-year senior walk-on.
Yeah, you would think so. And Terrell had good coverage, the corner. He was all over it. Schwinn thought it was going to be a double move, and Marrera hooked up. So on different pages. Boy, Marshall has started this football game off very, very confidently. They don't seem to be in awe of this crowd or this Kansas State Wildcat football team at all. They've already been to Tennessee.
It's 2nd and 10 for the 23, and they lost to Tennessee, as Dave mentions, only by 10. Pressure. They get him from the blind side. Andrew Shull, or check that, in there. It was Reggie Hayes with the sack, the junior from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Well, that's pretty quick pressure. And it's a matter of just getting beaten initially and quickly at the line of scrimmage. Just a blocking assignment error. They slide the offensive line. Nobody slides quickly enough to pick up the talented defensive lineman, Reggie Hayes. I mean, 6'3", 288 pounds, showed some nice burst right there. Very, very strong first step.
And now Marshall's leader in sacks this year. That's his 4th already. In their 4th game of the season. Schwinn on a call, a quarterback draw. Back to the original line and a couple of extra to the 25, near the 26. And another punting situation, 3 and out. Deontay Wilson in on the hit.
I'm not surprised that Marshall's offense has gotten off to the start they did, but I'm a little surprised Marshall's defense has stymied Kansas State's offense to the extent they have in the first 2 drives. The Wildcats have got nothing going at all.
Chris Royal is going back deep. And now a stoppage. And that came from the officials.
They're saying Kansas State signal timeout.
Kansas State, I believe you're right, Dave, needed to call a timeout. So what a beginning by Marshall, but they wasted a huge opportunity on a missed 39-yard field goal with the wind at their back. No timeout has been called.
No timeout.
Hal Dowden fills us in. No timeout has been called.
Watch the pressure coming off the edges here. Kind of a little bunch here in the punt protection by Kansas State.
And because of the wind factor, Royal to the near side, they send 2 back. Guillory over to the far side. And what a beauty from Jared Wright. Hangs it up. It'll be Guillory at the 28. Makes the first man miss. Not much else though. Across the 30. Out to the 32. So good field position for Marshall. And some of the keys you considered coming in today, Dave.
Well, turnovers is a big factor, Joel. And Marshall is -9 on the season. Tied for worst in college football with UTEP. And then yards after catch. Marshall makes a living. Darius watched Josh Davis on breaking a tackle, turning a 7-yard slant pass into a 70-yard touchdown. So yards after catch are big for them. And then gang tackle. They don't want to get caught one-on-one in the open field trying to tackle Sproles, for example, with no help. They want to get a lot of people running to the football, which they have so far.
3 wide receivers tied in like an H-back, goes in motion. That's Rader. And Earl Charles, the only one in the backfield. They'll give it off on the reverse. No, Charles up the middle and nothing happening on the first down snap. Matt Butler stopping the play. Bob Pruitt, an amazing story in his 8th year. And when I say amazing, how many coaches have had 52 games at home, and he just had his first home loss last week to Toledo since the 2000 season.
Well, yeah, 50-2 at home. How about his first 4 years at Marshall? He won 50 and lost 4. That's unheard of. 50 wins, 4 losses. In this era of 85 scholarship college football, unreal.
Loss of a yard. Now out of the gun. They're in off the edge. Gopner in trouble. Tries to set the screen, but he throws it into the ground. The pressure coming from Ross Vanover. Vanover all over the quarterback, Gopner.
I think it was Kevin Huntley, who's that big 6'8" defensive end. 6'8", look at how tall he is, and he's got 8'6" arm span. So he's not only, he's like a big octopus out there trying to tackle him. He got quick pressure on the quarterback. It looks like a power forward in the NBA, 6'8", 260 pounds. Good edge presence by Huntley.
He is one of the reasons. The Wildcats lead the Big 12 in sacks, coming in with 19. They send Davis in motion. Now on 3rd and 11. Little dump off over the middle. There's a flag on the play. It was the motion man Davis. Knocked out about short of the first down at the 39. Short by 3, but what's the flag about from the linesman?
They got a holding penalty on McPeak. I think he was holding Huntley. He tackled him. And that's the call. I mean, it looked like McPeak took him to the ground. Huntley beat him outside when he pressured the quarterback on the last play. This time he goes inside. Take a look at him right here, coming inside.
Penalty is declined. 4th down.
There's McPeak. Here comes Huntley inside. And there's the hit. And that's the hold, taking him to the ground.
The good field position is wasted by Marshall, as they will have to punt the ball away. Failed to pick up the first down.
It was a good tackle by McPeak, but you can't tackle as a lineman, offensive lineman. You got to block. He didn't have his hands in the framework of the body.
And that's a new rule this week, I was told.
Yeah, right.
Marrero waits for the punt. Downwind. Doesn't call for the fair catch and pays. Getting downfield in a hurry. Great coverage by Dennis Thornton, the outside linebacker. So K-State with the ball and scoreless, and they're deep in their own territory. And belted by Kevin Atkins. Once again, the middle linebacker after a gain of about 3 on first down. And keys now offensively, especially for Kansas State.
Well, they want to dominate the kicking game, Joel. They blocked 3 punts and they blocked a field goal. A couple of freshmen do some kicking for Marshall. Run the football. They're averaging over 240 yards a game, 11th best in the country. Marshall allows 202, 102nd. Then big plays. can they get him from James Terry and Darren Sproles? They've combined for 13 plays of 20 yards or more on the season. Need some big plays out of them today.
Schwinn out of the shotgun. Again, he wants to run it. Flag on the play right at the original line of scrimmage. Did somebody line up offside?
Marshall lined up offside. That's going to be a second and short now instead of second and long. You got to look inside. Don't crowd that neutral zone. Don't get your helmet in the neutral zone.
Should have been second and or make it 3rd and 6. Now it's going to be, as Dave mentioned, second and short.
Offside on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So the cadence, the snap count of Schwinn got him off just slightly. Second down over, 2nd and a couple.
As Roberson, he's signaling in the plays. He's got the headset on, totally in the game. Left hand is the injured hand, not the throwing hand. His left hand looks like he's been coming along pretty well. I'm not wearing much on that left hand. He's got big wristbands on both arms, but nothing on the hand.
It's a bye next week for Kansas State, so they don't have to use him. That's the ultimate. Schwinn with time, wide open, tight end at the 50. Casey all the way inside the 40. He's got a first down to the 37 of Marshall, the junior from Gladstone, Missouri. Huge grab.
Huge grab by a huge guy. I mean, Casey's a big kid, 6'7", 270 pounds. To be able to run like that, my goodness, there he is releasing inside the linebacker, and he's right down the hash mark. And Schwinn puts it right on the money. Runs right over the line, right between the linebackers and safeties. 6'7", 270 to have wheels like that, that's a genetic phenomenon.
It'll be Sproles dashing up the middle for good yardage. 5, almost 6. Casey came into the season without a career catch. He's got 5 now, and Davies averaging better than 30 a grab.
Boy, he's stretching the football field for him at that tight end position. And watch him. He'll release inside, right down the middle of the football field. Casey gets a clean release inside, and look at him, right down the middle of the hash marks. He's saying, I got him, I'm over the top. And Schwinn put it right on the numbers. Great throw.
And a 5 on first down to the Sproles carry. He had 28 touches last week, a career best, and he's got a first down. Right at the marker at the 27. I think he's got it by above the nose of the football.
Did you hear that thumping going on, Joel? This kid's 5'7", as you can see, not real tall, but he weighs 185 pounds. If he were 6 feet tall, he'd be 205. He's a short man, but he is a man, and he's got deceptive power inside. This kid benches 390, squats over 800 pounds. He's put together now. You can't see him in the huddle. Look at him, he disappears.
Well, what about the comparisons? Any to Barry Sanders as far as you're concerned?
I think he's that type of runner, but boy, there's only one Barry Sanders. I don't think I've, a little short, Joel.
Thought he had it.
I don't think I've ever seen a guy do the thing that Barry Sanders did so well. 100 miles an hour going in forward, slam it, put it in reverse, and cut. I've never seen anybody. I mean, you talk about being able to shift gears and throw it in reverse. That's the thing that separated Barry Sanders from everybody else. But Sproles is cut from that cloth, but it's not satin, it's silk. It's a little less of a cloth.
9 minutes gone by, 3rd and a few inches. Outside of the 27 of Marshall. Very slow start. This is the 3rd series offensively for Kansas State, a team that is averaging 44 points a game. 29 of those 44 come into the first half. Give credit to the Marshall defense, a 4-4 alignment basically. And there's the first down with Schwinn just caught. He followed his center. Not a bad idea because Lecky is in his 3rd season as a starter. First team all Big 12 last year.
Yeah, Lecky's very consistently dominant. Number 53 right in the middle of that offensive line, makes all the line calls, gets everybody going in the right responsibilities with respect to defensive configurations presented. He's smart, and he's a heck of a football player.
So now first down. Wasted opportunity for Marshall on their first series after a great run.
There's Sproles.
See how they match up. Schwinn wants it himself, though. Nice angle up the middle after starting right. And he's got a little bit more than 4 on first down.
You know, the difference in philosophy between these two football teams is one team uses a fullback and uses him tremendously. Marshall doesn't have a fullback on their roster. But this fullback, Travis Wilson, he leads for Sproles, and he also leads for his quarterback. There he goes running through the line of scrimmage, trying to pick up some slop. Wilson is a good lead blocker inside and on the edge.
On 2nd and 6, the option. Morera's available on the edge. She's got a first down and barely out of bounds. First and goal at the 4. Schwinn sold it well.
And a flag, Joel.
That was a late hit out of bounds. Schwinn held it after the deception in the backfield and really did pay the play off down the line.
Now, to get this timed up, Morera, here he comes. Look at him, man, he's a blur. But you have to have the proper relationship with your quarterback. Present yourself as a pitch man. And to run the option, like they did, and watch Wilson that we were just talking about. There's a block and there's a finish. Sustained contact, finish. Running with him 5 yards down the football field. That's finishing a block. Morera does a nice job relationship-wise with Schwinn, the quarterback. That's just well executed and well timed by Kansas State. The late hit, as you described, Joel, half the distance to the goal, first and goal.
Wildcats with a jumbo formation in there. Saba in the backfield. Schwinn will keep it driving. Is he in? I believe so. No signal yet. Touchdown, Kansas State. I want to see them do that to Dave Lapham up the stands.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a workout. I better take out some health insurance before I do that. I'll tell you, though, what a surge by that offensive line for Kansas State. I mean, Schwinn just cozied up behind him and just rode the tidal wave 3 yards into the end zone.
Green for the point after. And Kansas State with the first points of the day. Schwinn, an athletic one. He's not timid. He followed Lackey.
Look at the big boys.
State on the board.
Woo, the big boys. Surge.
Come to him finally.
A lot of people think it's a football nickname, but actually came from basketball when I was in 8th grade. A couple of members on my team dunked, and the coach told me I looked like Spider-Man when I went up, and I could never shake it.
Yeah, he's on a team that's got 8th graders dunking.
Yeah.
He's one of them.
How about that? 3 guys over the rack. I mean, I wouldn't want to play that 8th grade basketball team, but 40-inch vertical jump. That's David Thompson-like.
Watts came in with 224 career catches, 3,400 yards receiving, and going for the bundle. It's an interception. They wanted to get it out to Josh Davis. Randy Jordan's got the pick. Goetner giving it up on the first down snap, going for the home run ball.
Randy Jordan has been a little bit up and down, a little bit inconsistent. This time he stepped up large. And Goetner is not a deep ball thrower. He's trying to get the ball down the football field on the edge. It'll help coming from the safety. Not needed by Jordan. Tremendous play on the football. Goetner to throw the ball into double coverage, mistake. I mean, that's not his game. Last week he was 31 for 39 against Toledo, 2 interceptions. The last interception, though, was Hail Mary. Last play of the game, he was really 31 of 38 with a touchdown and an interception.
2nd interception of the season. 5th career for Randy Jordan. And now from the 46. Schwinn fake to the fullback, tripped up. And he's down after a gain of 4 at the 50. You were talking earlier about Travis Wilson. He was honorable mention all Big 12 last year, despite the fact that he didn't carry the ball all that much. Jeff Schwinn, though, quite a story in McLouth, Kansas. It's a town of 1,600 between Leavenworth and Olathe, not far from Kansas City. And I guess he's done a few shows in the town newspaper. He is the talk of the town in McLouth.
He is the town right now. Everybody wants a piece of Schwinn. Everybody wants to ride Schwinn.
And he's on scoring drive. Now Schwinn after the play fake. And will he be able to maneuver for a first down? Tough kick. He's got it down to the 42.
Well, you talked about it earlier, Joel. He's blue collar. Very hard-nosed young man. The coaches were impressed. Earlier this season, in one of his quarterback runs, he ran over a 6'3", 280-pound defensive tackle, ran him over. So that's the type of physical presence he brings to this football game. We talked about his intelligence. He also plays the game hard, which everybody on both these football teams, they play it snap to whistle every snap.
Now Sproles dashing his way on first down for big yardage. 7 on first down. So Darren Sproles, who's rushed over 100 yards in 11 of his last 12. Last week, career best 28 carries. And he came in today just 114 yards shy, becoming K-State's all-time #2 rusher, behind only Eric Hickson, who finished with better than 2,500 yards. In fact, he should become, if he stays healthy in a couple of weeks, their all-time career leader. He'll be less than 300 yards from becoming the #1 rusher in K-State history.
He's the best back they've had here. There's no question. Here he is in the slot again.
Schwinn again, quarterback draw, looking for 3 for the first down, and he got 2.5, and that is it. Kevin Atkins again in on the hit.
That's the second time that they've put Sproles in the slot, Joel, and run the quarterback draw. What they're doing is trying to remove one of the Marshall players from the box by getting Sproles out of there. One less person to block, one less person for Schwinn to make miss. But Marshall's defended it pretty well. Kansas State starting to take control of the line of scrimmage a little bit. They've outrushed the opponent 17 times. In the last 17 games, they've outrushed the opponent. They're 15-2 in those contests.
Now they need a little less than a yard for a first down. Sproles behind Wilson.
Checking, you got to call timeout. Not enough time on the play clock. Trying to get out of a bad play, ran out of clock.
And you saw Leckie, the center, who was calling out the blocking assignments, point something out to the quarterback. It's only the second career start for Jeff Schwinn.
Right. What he did is he saw the play clock. Leckie, as he was making his blocking call for protection, he saw the play clock winding down, and he turned around. He said to Schwinn, "Look, you don't have enough time. Call the timeout."
We talked to head coach Bill Snyder. Found out his impressions of the fifth-year former walk-on, Jeff Schwinn.
He's a guy that's, genuine in the huddle, and he's good out of the huddle, and he's good in the locker room, and, and all those things. But his focus really is on just trying to get his game in order so that he can play as well as he possibly can. And he knows when he does that, then everybody will look to him and they'll follow his lead.
He wants to coach, Joel. Schwinn has said, he's been very vocal about it. He said, I want to coach this game. When he got his first start as a sophomore in high school, the coaches said he was like another coach on the football field that early in age. I mean, he loves the game, and he loves trying to understand all the nuances of the game.
Yeah, the co-offensive coordinator, Greg Peterson, earlier this week told us that because he's been around and he's a fifth-year guy, he called him a program guy who knows the system, and he says he's the guy that's going to get you in the right play most of the time, even though he doesn't have a lot of career snaps. Well, the right play that time took it upon himself, and he's got a first down to the 31. Well, Leckie's pretty amazing with the snap, the senior first-team All-Big 12er.
Well, what you have to do, Joel, when you're playing the center position, you have to make sure the snap first, then come off the line of scrimmage like a madman, and watch him snap the football and then come off the line of scrimmage. Boom! I mean, that's knocking him back. That's pancake. Throw some syrup down there. That's taking a guy off his shoes right there. That's a heck of a job by Leckie. Knocked down.
This drive started after the pick at the 46, and now K-State needs another timeout. Let's remind everybody, we talk about a 4-3, and the Marshall coaches told us this is a 4-4 because it's designed to stop the run first more than anything else.
Right, get that extra man in the box. That's what they're trying to do.
Inside of 2 minutes left in the first.
K-State football.
Let's go. From Manhattan, Kansas, and welcome back once again, Joel Myers, Dave Latin, Jim Knox, and Jeff Schwinn. Very efficient.
And Schwinn has done his damage down the middle of the football field, Joel. He went to his big tight end. This time, initially, for a big play down the middle of the field. This time he goes to his wide receiver, and Morera running a little slant. It's closer. That's a good job.
He's only a true freshman in the eye, Darren Sproles. Morera again. Schwinn holds onto it instead. That's the play they used earlier, where Morera set it up first and goal down to the 2.
Same action, but instead of running the option down the line of scrimmage, Schwinn, after he reverse pivoted, took it up inside the tackles. Look at this Kansas State. 23 possessions, 15 touchdowns. They do have 3 giveaways, though, 3 turnovers in the red zone. They've got 15 touchdowns, 3 field goals, and 3 turnovers. Don't want any more turnovers in the red zone.
It'll be second and goal. Final 60 seconds of the first quarter.
Oh.
Schwinn put it on the ground, and he throws it right to the big man for Marshall. Now the foot race with Sproles knocked out of the play for Marshall. Jonathan Goddard, the defensive end, will go the distance. Touchdown, Thundering Herd.
The guy that got the good block was Terrell, the cornerback. He got the block on Sproles that allowed the play to finish.
And that's an interception because it was a toss grabbed out of the air by Goddard. He just plucked it out.
Yeah, it was a backward pass, which is a lateral, which is now a touchdown for Marshall, a defensive score. And Schwinn, the problem he made was he made a mistake by dropping the snap, and then he compounded his error because the timing of the play was disrupted when the ball was on the ground and he had to pick it up. And to try to make something good out of something bad, he made it worse. He compounded his error.
First time it's been returned against Kansas State since Nebraska back in 2001. In for the point after. It is up and good by Ben Lewis, and it's a brand new ball game because the Marshall defense came through.
And really, the downfield block. Now you just eat the ball. You don't do that. Now it's off to the races. Here comes Sproles, and there's the block by Terrell that just sprung him. That's a nice effort by Terrell to stay with it. Then off to the races. Golden goalpost for Jonathan Goddard. A defensive lineman's dream.
Yeah, I'll tell you something, though. At 6', even 245 pounds. I think this junior from Jacksonville, Florida, has been in the backfield before. He clutched it like he knew what he was doing once he got it.
I'll tell you, it was a prized possession right there. Man, you go to the house from that distance, and once again, nice play by Terrell. Heads up by the corner to get involved and to knock Sproles off the play. Sproles caught him quickly. Sproles is much faster. Terrell got in there and knocked Sproles down.
So it all comes with 28 seconds left in the quarter. A surprise, the Marshall offense got to go in early. They don't score. They miss a field goal attempt of 39 yards on their first series, but the defense comes up big.
You know, now you're wondering how much oxygen Goddard's going to need over there because
he's lucky he's not in thin air, mile high.
He's got a little bit of a limp going on there. He's not.
Come on.
He's been struggling with shin problems. He didn't practice much at all this week. It was questionable how much he could play, and he's fighting some leg problems. But I'll tell you what, there was no way it was going to be a problem when he got that football. He said, "This is my once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I don't care if my leg's sore or not. I'm going into this end zone on crutches if I have to."
Ian O'Connor kicks it away, and did he ever get into it with the wind at his back? So now Kansas State will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20. Goddard, with good reason, the center of attention. So K-State already has it for the 5th time. We remind you today's first down line is brought to you by Net Zero high-speed internet. K-State a huge favorite coming into this game, and also one of the best teams in the nation in scoring defense. 13th best, only giving up 13.5 points a contest. But that time, their offense gave up points. Danny Morris taking over at running back. The senior from Tulsa. Right away, an early touch, and he's tripped up in the backfield. Good penetration for Marshall. That'll probably be the final snap of the first 15 minutes, but what a pick-me-up for Bob Pruitt and his staff to get points from the defensive unit.
Well, now Bill Snyder, what do you think he's thinking? Now, do I need to put L in this football game? Is L healthy enough to play? With a turnover like that, what do you think Bill Snyder's thinking? It's going to be interesting.
And a defense for Marshall that couldn't stop the run against Toledo. And they have done a pretty decent job stopping the run so far in the first 15 minutes against Bill Snyder's squad. That's the end of the first quarter. It is all even. Marshall 7, Kansas State 7. You're watching College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net, presented by Kia Sarah. A stumbling start for the Wildcats. Let's see how they respond in the second.
Knows Marshall, and Marshall knows Toledo. It's a conference game. These opponents don't know each other. This is the first time they've ever played. And I got to give Marshall a heck of a lot of credit. I mean, Marshall is getting after it in this football game. Both sides of the football. They are not in awe of this atmosphere and venue at Manhattan.
First snap, 2nd and 9. Schwinn buying time in the play fake on the edge. What a bullet. He goes out to his tight end once again. It's Brian Casey for his second grab. Casey had the longest pass reception so far in this contest. They set up the first score. And our WebMD first quarter numbers, well, the numbers dominated by Kansas State, but they didn't capitalize.
Look at the time of possession. Amazing. I mean, they played keep away, and they were 2-1 in terms of yards. But you have a turnover, and this turnover by Kansas State ended up being a touchdown. That's the difference.
Schwinn with Sproles. Sproles trying to get lost, but instead he gets buried. No gain. Jim Knox, what's the latest?
Hey, Joel, Jonathan Goddard finally on his feet right there, number 50. It took him a while to really calm down. He emptied a whole water bottle there, Big Dave, but he's up. A lot of his teammates were saying, hey, why didn't you throw some kind of dance in afterwards? He said, I was just too tired.
I bet he was. I'm surprised he didn't hit the oxygen mask over there, Knoxy. I mean, I'm glad he rehydrated, but I thought he might need a little O2 as well. That's a long jump.
He's wondering what the elevation of Manhattan is right now.
Exactly.
He thinks he's in Boulder. 2nd and 9, give him a yard from the 39, and Schwinn again from the shotgun. He's got all day. And making it happen on his own. He got into the 41-yard line. Took a pop and loses his helmet in the process. Deontay Wilson in on the hit.
Nowhere to throw the football. All day long back there in the pocket. I mean, you want to give a quarterback 3.5, 4 seconds. They gave him 6, almost 7 seconds before he had to tuck it and run. So that was basically outstanding coverage down the football field because the defensive line was handled by Kansas State's O-line.
Schwinn is now 5 of 6. He's got 90 yards. They don't call that an interception, actually, on the pickoff. And now it's going to be the 3rd timeout taken in the half.
Yeah, they don't call it an interception because it was a running play, and they're calling it a fumble.
So just about 2 minutes gone. The clock certainly moves around here, doesn't it? We'll come back to Manhattan.
Special thanks to Pizza.
Marshall making the big play. They've not been able to hold on to the football. Marshall has turned it over just like Kansas State one time. It's all even at 7. Joel Myers, Dave Lapham, Jim Knox. And right now, Kansas State just can't get anything going consistently on the ground. The bread and butter, their ground game. Now a huge 3rd and 7 field position-wise for the Wildcats. Schwinn out of the gun. Sproles, can he get to the marker?
Wow.
Well, let's see the spot. He did not get it. He's short by a yard. That was in front of the Marshall bench.
Man.
Don't forget, a Big 12 crew. Good call. He looked like he was short.
Yeah, he did. But what a move he made to make it even close. When he caught this football, he had to go airborne to make the catch. Boy, there's a little juke, and he definitely was short of the yard marker on the boundary. But Willie Smith said, that little guy's quick. Willie Smith had great position on Sproles, and he froze him inside and got it outside of him to the boundary. Not quite long enough for the first down.
Bright with the wind at his back. Gittery out of Topeka High School.
Oh, wow.
Well, no pressure. So plenty of time still for Gittery. Gets a couple of blocks. And across the 20. So sets it up at the 21 for the Marshall offense.
There's a flag down, Joel. I don't know if Marshall lined up offsides or if Kansas State didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage in illegal formation. That looks like the call. Kansas State not 7 men on the line of scrimmage on that punt.
And I got to decline it if I'm Bob Pruitt.
I agree.
Illegal formation on the kicking team. Only 6 men on the line. Penalty is declined. First down.
Good call. Because with the wind at Bright's back, and that was out of sync once the ball hit the ground. It's a break. They get it out to the 21-yard line. On our Dr. Pepper Heisman Watch. Coming in after the first 4 weeks of the college football season.
How about Perry Stone?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Great article over the last couple of days in one of the national newspapers on Chris Perry. Rivers not a bad percentage either at 76.
4 interceptions hurt him. Navarre doing a good job as well.
Charles, the only one in the backfield. They fire it out. Darius Watts on the kick out. Nothing available. And check it. It was Guillory instead of Watts. The young man who brought the punt back. He backed up, believe it or not, James Terry at Butler Community College, where he played both wide receiver and quarterback So Terry, all Big 12 candidate. Bill Snyder Wildcats. And right behind him, Guillory. Now playing for Marshall. So there aren't too many guys that know each other. These two squads, they've never faced each other. Guillory, though, and Terry, pretty good understanding. Now 2nd and long. And a missed handoff. They wanted to go on the delay to Charles. But confusion in the backfield.
Well, Josh Buell is a guy that has got a motor that runs and runs and runs, and he pursues every single play. He reminds me of a smaller Dat Wynn. There's the botched exchange, as you say, Joel. Buell is he distorts angles for offensive linemen. He's only 200 pounds, 6 feet, a couple hundred pounds, and he's so fast, and he diagnoses so quickly, you can't take the proper angle to block him. Then he'll run around blocks and make a play. He's very, very slippery to block, very tough on the outside.
This is tough now for the junior from Highland Village, Texas. Grant Gochner, 3rd and long, almost 10. Pressure coming, and too tall, should have been intercepted. In and out of the hands of the defensive back. It should have been picked off, though, by James McGill, the senior from Bakersfield.
He'll have nightmares on that one. That ball looked as big as a beach ball coming out. There's a flag on the play, illegal blocking.
Rashawn Washington forced the errant throw. The strong safety was coming on the blitz.
Holding on Marshall be declined.
Penalty is declined. 4th down.
But you talk about having nightmares. McGill, this thing looks so big to him. Ball's high, can't transfer his weight and deliver it as accurately as he wanted to. Gochner threw it high. Man, hit him right in the shoulder. You got to catch it with your hands. Don't let it hit your pads. It'll bounce crazily.
Rose to punt. Guerrero waits. Good protection. And because of the wind, forget it.
Boomerang in when he goes deep.
Off the side of his foot. A very short punt. Line of scrimmage, the 21. Where will they mark it out?
I've never seen a punt hooked like that.
It's only a 9-yard punt to the 30-yard line. They've had some bad ones this year.
Boy. And Bob Pruitt, livid about not being able to execute. Now watch Rose's form here. Good snap. Let's see what the drop looks like. He's got his head up looking at the rush. He kicks across his body and just hooks the thing. I mean, absolute hook. The pressure applied wasn't that significant. I mean, Danny Morris was in the area, but not before the ball was airborne off of Rose's foot.
So now Kansas State in great shape. Tied at 7, 4 minutes into the 2nd quarter. Darren Sproles making a miss. Getting lost. There it goes. And finally dropped in the secondary by Gladstone Coates.
Sproles showing those quick feet and showing power as well, you know, breaking through tackles. He's hard to arm tackle, and he's a little tired right now. He's gassed. He needs a little bit of a break, but fullback leading him through once again, as always. Pretty good sustaining blocks down the football field. Sproles jumping over bodies on the ground. Tired young man needs a break.
2nd team all Big 12 out of Olathe. Best part about it for the Cats, he is only a junior. Now on 2nd and short, Danny Morris takes over, and Schwinn changes the play coming up to the line. Offside, or was it a false start? Leckie was pointing once again to the play clock to his quarterback, like hustle up.
Kansas State signal it's going to be on Marshall. Early movement. We're talking it over right now. Both lines of scrimmage moved. Who moved first? Did Marshall force the movement? It's going to be on Marshall.
Snap. Encroachment by the defense. You got 5-yard penalty. Results in a 1st down.
Let's take a look at it right here. Here's the movement. Couple of defense. Now the offensive line reacts to the defensive line's movement because you don't want your quarterback to get killed. Good call. The play, the penalty was as a result of the big fella Marlon Hicks coming off the line of scrimmage early.
1st and 10 from the 16. Schwinn will keep it after the play fake, and he won't get back to the line of scrimmage. Great penetration again. Kevin Atkins, we've called his name a lot today already. A junior from Richmond, Virginia.
Charles Tynes was the disruptor, the penetrator, the guy that caused the play to break down. Atkins finished it, but Tynes is the guy that strung it all out.
Now will that 9-yard punt kill Marshall? The defense doing everything they can. A loss of 4 on that play, back to the 20.
Well, the way the Kansas State offense is sputtering and staggering around, Mel Roberson not in this football game makes you wonder if he's going to be in this football game.
Wilson in the eye in front of Sproles. Schwinn looking to throw into the corner of the end zone. Just off the fingertips of James Terry. Don't know if he would have been able to come down anyway. Gladstone Coke with the heat on the quarterback.
And Terry is just a marvelous target at 6'5". Look at how long he is, and runs like a gazelle. In direct quote from the Marshall coaching staff. I mean, he's got the unbelievable height and length to him. And defensive coordinator Bill Wilt from Marshall said he runs like a gazelle. That's how fluid and smooth he is an athlete.
Senior from Homestead, Florida. #1 receiver now with the departure of Taco Wallace, who's working for the Seattle Seahawks. Out of the gun. Here we go on 3rd down. Schwinn underneath. Almost a great grab by Morera, trying to adjust on a throw behind him. He was headed towards the inside, towards the hash mark.
A little comeback route. Morera, look at the cushion. I mean, he's not going to beat him deep. The cushion he's given him from the 20-yard line. So he plants, tries to come back for the football. The ball is thrown to the numbers.
He's still short of the 1st down, though.
Yeah, trying to throw it to the outside because the defender had inside position. So he wanted to make sure the only guy that could make a catch on it was Morera and not Marshall.
Downwind, 37-yard try for Joe Ream, who's 5 of 6 this year. And
another penalty. And
it'll be, you said it, that'll cost him 5. It would have been good.
False start. No kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Well, this is, first of all, if they only give up 3, Dave, it's still a big sequence for the Marshall defense, with Kansas State starting at the 30-yard line after the 9-yard punt.
Oh, no question. Defending the short field like they have here, limiting this to nothing but a field goal opportunity, which at this point in time is going to be a 42-yard field goal opportunity. That's something to stick your chest out about collectively as a defense. You've done your job, no doubt.
There's a good 15 to 20-yard win at the back of Ream. Here goes the junior from Wichita once again. Plenty of foot into it. And it's good.
Yeah.
42-yard field goal. And Joe Ream is putting the Wildcats back on top. 10-7, Kansas State, the number 6 team in the nation, leading by 3. Getting together on an absolutely unbelievable afternoon. It is that perfect today. High 60s, low 70s in Manhattan, Kansas. Close to the state capital of Topeka, and we are only 60 miles away, believe it or not, as Errol Charles will keep it in the end zone. Dr. Pepper game break time. I'll talk about that place that's only 60 miles away, but first let's head to Bill Jones. Bill.
Joel and Dave, Texas Tech having special teams problems at NC State. The Raider punt blocked by number 91, Manny Lawson, whose vertical jump is higher than the device used to measure it. The Wolfpack jumping all over Tech, 21-0 late in the second.
Well, the Wolfpack, as you know, coming off a devastating loss last week to Ohio State. They just have easily could have won that game at Ohio State, stopping the Buckeyes' 17-game winning streak.
Lost it in overtime. David Rivers, the quarterback, went into overtime. Couldn't quite get it done.
Play fake. Goetner wanted the tight end again and almost throws it into the arms of the defensive back. Late hit. They won't get the call, but Cedric Williams was over there. Making his first career start. Scholl had the pressure. He's on scoring drive. 2:04. Most of the scoring drives this year, in fact, 21 of the 28 have come in 3 minutes or less coming into the game for Kansas State.
Yeah,
they usually get it done in a hurry.
That's pretty good defense right there when you only get 5 yards on 5 snaps.
Well, the defense was the key.
Yeah, Marshall just shut it down. I mean, they had their backs against the wall with a short field and stepped up.
Goetner with 2 to each side. Spreads him out underneath. And nothing doing for Josh Davis. The junior from the Hickory Grove, South Carolina, may have lost a half a yard. Jim Knox.
Hey, Joe, you know, this game, the way it's going, could come down to a field goal. Talking to Joe Ream, who hit that field goal just a little while ago, he said with the wind to his back, get this, guys, he can kick a 60-yarder. In practice, he can kick 70 yards. How about that one?
Yeah, that's Martin Gramatica type kick. And we saw Gramatica kick one from 65 yards right here to set an NCAA record. He'd kick from 70 yards all the time in practice. That's incredible.
Yeah, this is a group that didn't have a lot of confidence in their kicking game last year. Goetner all day over the middle. Oh, their hands were almost intercepted again. Davis should have had it. It was dropped though by the defensive back Jesse Tetwan, the free safety. He thought he had it.
Yeah, trying to go to the other receiver. Basically, they're doing a good job of taking Watts out of it, so they went to Josh Davis.
And he knew Washington was going to clock him.
Yeah, the old tip drill, not executed. You work on that tip drill all the time, reacting to the ball.
They went after the punter, wobbled it out. Morera picks it up off the turf. And he'll go down to the midfield stripe. It's a great field position again for Kansas State.
They were offside, though, trying to block it. So that's going to be Kansas State was offsides.
Yeah, but Bob Pruitt may be a little gun-shy with that punter. Sorry to put it that way, but after what happened, a short one, a wobbler that time.
Boy.
Clint Rose with a 9-yarder before that.
You're into
the win.
You're going to let him take the ball at the 50-yard line on you. Wow. That's being gun-shy big time.
Only 6 men on the line. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Oh, it's on Marshall. So they Kansas State, I thought when they were timing it up, it looked like they were jumping off. Watch right here, trying to time it right before the snap. I thought he was in the neutral zone. I guess he wasn't. But Marshall didn't have 7 men on the line of scrimmage. That was the penalty. So they have to re-kick, and Kansas State said, it's not your decision, it's ours. Move back 5 and do it again.
I think Marshall was the other way, and the decision was theirs. They would have left it at the 49. Their defense is playing that well. We're almost halfway through the second quarter. Let's see if Rose, a redshirt freshman from Lexington, Kentucky, can get into it. Took his time, but again, into the wind, it's going to knock it right down. Morera fair catches it at the 44. So an advantage of 7 yards, as it was going to be at the 49 before. Fantasy football players, get ready. 30 minutes tonight, tomorrow morning. The experts doing the work for you on the Ultimate Fantasy Football Show. Dave, I know you're all over this. It's tonight and Sunday mornings only on Fox Sports Net. Check your local listings. Fantasize along with Dave Lappel.
Yeah. Not much. I'm into real football more so than fantasy football, to be honest. The real game.
You like to get in touch.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a reality guy. From the 44, Schwinn calling his own number again, slithering his way. He lost it on the way down. Let's see if he covered it.
Umpire saying he's down.
Bounced off the ground, and that's when he's lost the ball.
The umpire saying he was down anyway. The umpire was spotting the ball, saying that it was not a fumble. He was already down.
Well, there's plenty of wind in this ballpark today.
It gusts pretty well.
And he's going downwind, so if K-State wants to throw it, this is the quarter or the 4th.
Now let's take a look. Schwinn he's down, ball out. Good call. He's on his butt hit down first, his backside hit down first, ball came out, dead ball.
So the 5th-year senior, his 2nd career start. Deep play fake. Here comes the heat. Schwinn loses it again. Who's got it?
Marshall's got it.
They may and they do. The 45-yard line as Jameis Martin, the defensive end, took it away.
He stripped it, and Schwinn felt him. Schwinn knew he was coming. What you have to do at that point is secure the football. He kept the ball in his right hand. You're going to get 2 hands on it because Martin's coming. It's going to slam it right out of there. Hayes recovered it. Here comes Martin. He's going to come all the way, chase it from the backside. Martin comes off the tight end. Fullback runs by him, and now Schwinn feels him running away. You got to secure the football because Martin just pulled his arm right away from the football, and then his teammate Reggie Hayes falls on him.
Earl Charles in the backfield now. Marshall's going to have their best field position to start a drive at their own 45-yard line. It's the 6th time they've had the football. Charles breaks an arm tackle to the backfield. He won't quit, will he? Good yardage across the midfield stripe.
Well, Martin, you could see he was going to try to claw it away from behind.
Yeah, what you do, here he comes. And now he says, I smell a sack. Now I want to force the fumble. And he did. He just yanked Schwinn's arm right away from the football. I mean, that's just a good job. But Schwinn has to be more aware of that. And say, he knows that they're going to try to knock the ball out of his hand, and you have to squeeze the pig. Coming into today's game, -9. Now they're -8. +1 today.
Give it to Charles. Big hole up the middle. Inside the 40. He's got a first down, the junior from Brooklyn. So 1st and 10. Will they be able to get points off a turnover? Working into the win at the 39 now of K-State.
And coming into the football game, Kansas State was even in the turnover department. Now they find themselves -1. But even though they were even, same number of giveaways and takeaways, they were +32 in points. They'd scored 35 points off the takes, and only given about 3 off the gives.
More than 6 minutes left in the half. Ray to the tight end, sliding over. Charles gets a big hole out on the edge. A nice block from Watts, holding off Jordan. Another first down to 24. Good block downfield.
Good block downfield and good job at the left side. McPeak, the big left tackle. Now here's a guy that had back surgery in April. He had a disc problem, number 71 in the white jersey. And look at the cavity he created. I mean, just a heck of a job. And watch Watts down the football field right here. Whenever a running back has a good run, usually it's because there's a wide receiver blocking down the football field, and Watts did a decent job of it.
Watts taking over in the backfield now on 1st and 10 for the 24. Starting at the Marshall 45 of the turnover. Huge again up the middle. Wallace bangs his way for 7 or 8. Give him 7 on the carry.
This Marshall offensive line has plenty of size. Size is not the issue. I mean, they average well over 300 pounds up front. Look at Griffin, the big right tackle. That's a load right there. And they're thumping. Let's hear what it's like down there. That's some pads cracking right there now.
You're breaking a sweat up here. Talked about the size of the offensive line. It is not a problem for Marshall. Can they get the first down? Breaking tackles inside the 15 all the way down to the 10. Butchie Wallace again. And he's got a 1st and goal. They're smart. They're working into the wind, and they haven't put it up in the air and put pressure on the quarterback, Oakner.
And they haven't had to. That's going to be a concern for Kansas State. They've not been able to stop Marshall's running game on this drive.
And how about it, Dave, when you're 12th in the nation like K-State is, giving up only 62 yards a game on the ground.
Right. Marshall coming in against Tennessee and others had rushed the ball for over 160 yards on the season. They've been fairly balanced considering they run one back all the time.
It's now 9 carries, 91 yards for Marshall so far. The rushing department. Now they try the fade, corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Darius Watts. Marshall takes the lead.
Darius Watts, I think that's his 40th career touchdown reception, just like his jersey number. I mean, that's productivity. He started 3 games as a freshman. He was Byron Leftwich's go-to guy. He's everybody's go-to guy. They ran the fade. When he's isolated one-on-one, they like to run that fade because of his size and his jumping ability. Didn't have to jump.
Ben Lewis, and he hooked it wide left. How big has the kicking game been? Lewis, who's missed a 39-yard field goal, now misses an extra point. Dylan Meyer has taken over at quarterback, the redshirt freshman. He's a good runner, and that's exactly what he'll do. Atkins is there to meet him and try to take the ball away.
He did.
And Martin covers it. Is it a fumble? Yes, it is. Man. Atkins forces, Martin recovers.
Amazing. Meyer he can run. He's the 100-meter, 200-meter sprint champ in high school in the state of Kansas. But you got to secure the football. And Martin forced the fumble the last series. This time, he recovers the fumble. Big plays. Design quarterback off-tackle play. The ball is stripped out of there. Atkins, as he's pulling Meyer backwards, and Martin falls all over him. Now, it was Meyer's forward progress stop. That's what the fans are a little perturbed about. But the ball is stripped out of there. You have to secure the pig. And Kansas State's letting it go.
Kansas State has turned it over 3 times now, twice. Points off the turnovers for Marshall. Charles going low. Inside the 38 to the 37. Butler's there on the hit. Butchie Charles, or Earl Charles rather, on the carry. Mistakes by K-State. The latest, Jim Knox.
All right, Josh, thank you very much. Joel, I'll tell you what, Martin right here, great recovery right there. He looked up the stands, they said they don't want it. Real quick, email us today, foxsports.com, keyword Ask Knox. We'll answer your emails here in the second half, guys.
Final 4 minutes of a wild first half. Nothing doing. Earl Charles in the call again. He only averaged 3 per pop coming into the game. Prior to that, he had 6 carries for 35 yards, but shut down only a yard that time.
Well, Bill Snyder has made his decision. You know, he went with another quarterback to try to get the offense on track, but the quarterback was Dylan Meyer. It was not El Roberson. So Bill Snyder wants to give El Roberson this week, the bye week next week, to get ready for Texas after that bye and not risk further damage today.
Huge third down. They're trying to get him to the ground. He ran up the back of his lineman. Well, that time, not a great deal of vision for Earl Charles. Otherwise, he slides outside of the lineman, and he's got room up the lane.
So you're saying it was Ray Charles running that ball?
I'm not going there.
But now,
interesting decision.
Well, Kansas State. I mean, Bobby
Marshall
Pruitt,
should go for it.
He's got to go for it. Yeah, he's got to.
I don't blame him. Into the wind.
He's got to.
Clock running down, and Kansas State is also out of timeouts. So you know what you want to do? You want to take the play clock all the way down, then use your first timeout.
Right, because you don't want Kansas State to get the ball back. If you're successful here and lead to points, you don't want Kansas State getting the ball at all with any time left.
That's exactly what they'll do. Third of the time they've converted on 4th downs this year. Twice, though, they failed for Bob Pruitt in short yardage last week at home against Toledo.
Third and fourth.
Yes, that was a big problem. And that's why Tank Tunstill has got a lot of snaps, a redshirt freshman running back who's 6'1", 230. And it gets down to that, but it's not that. It's 4th and about 4, almost 5. An opportunity for our accurate trivia now with a timeout on the field. Who's the last non-conference opponent to beat K-State? Right here in Manhattan. That's 41 games ago. They've got 41 straight wins.
Give you a hint. From the same conference that Marshall is in right now, the Mid-American Conference. The last team to beat them here was a Mid-American Conference team as well.
You know, I don't think you needed to go that far. I really don't.
Really? You think that's too big a hint? I don't think a lot of people would still get it. It's kind of a surprise answer, really.
Bill Jones, R.C. Slocum, and Greg Hill coming up with a Nissan halftime report. A&M Virginia Tech Thursday night. A look back on that one. Look ahead. Can UCLA hang with #1 Oklahoma? Got a good one. Tech. NC State. Butchie Wallace. He will be the only one in the backfield. And will he be deep in the backfield? As Goetner comes up to the line, will work out of the shotgun.
Here's all the action right here. This little bunch to defend.
And they pick up 4, almost 5. And the tight end's got it. He's done it before. That's Jason Rader. Big catch early in the game, and he's got a first down inside the 30.
And those bunch formations are tough, are very difficult to defend. You can come out of that bunch formation so many ways. And Coach Pruitt, defensive coordinator himself for about 20 years, realized it was tough for him to defend that bunch. Watch him unfold. Tight end underneath right here running his route. Gets separation. Cradles the football, moves the chains.
1st and 10. 2 timeouts on the board. For Marshall, Kansas State out of timeouts. That was the case 2 minutes into the second quarter. Blitz off the edge. Good time for a run, but his own man again takes him down. Unbelievable.
Well, he was trying to pick up the blitzer, but it was too late. And as he's running out there to try to get a hit on Hickman, his offensive lineman crushed his own running back.
Ryan Baines taking down Butchie Wallace. Today's first down line is brought to you by Net Zero high-speed internet. Now, the one thing they wanted to make sure of was Kansas State not getting the football back. Clock winding down to the first half. Second and a dozen. Watch the single now over on the near side, matching up with Cedric Williams. Will give it off to the tailback. Bucciwanis. He'll make it 3rd and 10 at the 30. Buell was there in on the stop, the Big 12's Defensive Player of the Week. Now, you don't look at a field goal as a real try here into the wind. It'd be 47, into the wind more like 57.
Well, particularly,
and their place kicker is already,
right.
He's missed 4 points for him.
And in the extra point, he just tried. After the touchdown, he missed badly on an extra point. So what kind of confidence does Coach Pruitt have in his kicking game right now?
3rd and 10 from the 30. Watch the motion man. Picked up by Jordan on the edge. Big hole up the middle. Can he lunge to the first down? He does. That'll stop the clock. Kicked and made the play. What a run, though, by Bucciwanis. He knew where he had to go for the first down.
3rd and 10. And you just run the ball right between the tackles against Kansas State. That's a concern. Marshall does a good job of sustaining blocks. Nobody from Kansas State can separate from the blocker and make a tackle. That is just having ultimate confidence in your offensive line. Bob Pruitt says, we're going to run it 3rd and 10, and they move the chains inside the red zone.
And right now, Marshall, known for their passing with Stan Hill, running it with the backup Gochner, averaging 7+ per carry, 15 carries for 108 yards.
That's a real surprise.
Our accurate trivia, the last non-conference opponent to beat Kansas State. How about 1989?
Northern Illinois,
and what a win they had to start the season with Maryland.
Upset Maryland. And Northern Illinois, pretty good program. You know, the Mid-American Conference every year goes into the Big Ten and upsets somebody. Miami of Ohio over the years has gone down to LSU and beaten them when they were top 10 in the country. They beat Coach Barnett when he was at Northwestern for one of his only regular season losses. So this conference that, and Bill Snyder is acutely aware of it. He knows the Mid-American Conference is competitive. And he knows Marshall's a good football team. And he had some concerns coming into this game, and rightfully so.
One timeout left. Marshall just stopped it. After the first down pickup by Wallace, Earl Charles takes over in the backfield. Last loss for Kansas State, Dave, we were here. October last season. That's 10 games ago.
2 tight ends. Look at this little power football.
Watts is over to the near side up against Cedric Williams. Play fake it. Look for Watts against Williams at the pylon. He had to come back and it was low to begin with, and he had a cushion. Nice cutback by Watts. Comeback route.
Ran a great route. Great route. More accurate football. Keep him on his feet. He might be able to get it into the end zone. He had that much separation.
I like the call, partner.
Yep, Gochner just a little bit, not quite enough arm strength. He just does not have the howitzer to get it there. He has to throw with anticipation and accuracy because he doesn't have the frozen rope coming off his hand.
Well, Watts told us yesterday his favorite route, the 10-yard out. That was a deep route. So here we go. 2nd and 10 from the 20. Wallace on the delay. Weaves it up the middle of the 16. They still have a time on the board. And they'll use it to set up the field goal. He ran it right to the middle. Heads up play between the hash marks. Now they go to the locker room with a 6-point lead.
They take a timeout. Marshall does. Their contrarian play calling right now. On 1st and 10, they went 2 tight ends and threw the football. 2nd and long, they spread the field and ran the football. Now here they're gonna line up, and even though it's 3rd down, it makes no difference. There's only 2 seconds on the clock. Even if there's a bad snap, this is going to be the last play of the half.
So now Nick Kelly will be the place kicker. Can they take advantage of another mistake by Kansas State? They've given it away 3 times, Dave.
Yeah, and this one, Schwinn compounds his error, fumbles the football, and then he makes a bigger mistake by pitching it, and it's off to the races for a touchdown. And now blindside takedown from the backside. He knows Martin's coming, doesn't secure the football. And now Meyer gets involved, doesn't secure the football. 3 takeaways by Marshall. They scored a touchdown off of one of them. Let's see the conclusion of this one.
So now Nick Kelly, a sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia, not Ben Lewis, the senior from Alpharetta, Georgia, who's already missed one. This is going to be a 33-yard try into the wind, more like a 40-plus yard try. Final snap and a half. It's on its way, and it's good.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, from 33 yards out, Nick Kelly with a pick-me-up and more points off a turnover. In fact, all their points came right after turnovers. One, the direct result of the long return by Goddard.
10 points off the 3 takeaways. And they were -9 coming into today's game. They were +2 today. And Bob Pruitt, does he like it? You better believe it.
So Nick Kelly with a real boost to the locker room for Bob Pruitt as we join Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Joe. Coach, you got to be extremely pleased. You're pulling off the upset right now. You're doing it with defense. Great turnover that you take to the house. And on offense, doing a nice job running against this stiff Kansas State defense.
Well, our kicking game has got to improve. We put another field goal kicker in there, and he did a good job and got us a kick. We're going to have to punt within the wind, keep protecting the football, be able to run the football. And these guys will probably open it up a little bit more the second half, so we're going to have to defend the pass some.
So far, outstanding play at your quarterback position.
I thought he's done a good job for us. That corner route there, we had him turned around. He underthrew it a little bit. We'd had a touch.
All right, Coach, best of luck in the second half. Joel?
All right, Knoxy, what a shocker in the making. Last loss, it was Texas 10 games ago. That's how long the winning streak is for Kansas State. It's in jeopardy, trailing by 6 as we head to the studio and join Bill Jones and the group.
Boy, sure.
Schwinn right now. Also, he says they got to quit turning the ball over and look for the defense to really step it up. He's not happy with the way the defense performed in the first half against Marshall's offense. We'll see what happens, Joel.
And they've also got to get their exceptional wide receiver involved, who has not touched the football today, James Terry. Into the end zone, downwind. Marshall will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Anytime you can take out the most potent offensive weapon from a team, which Marshall has done. James Terry has not caught a pass. He came in with 23 yards per catch over the first 4 this year. It's amazing the way they bracketed him and taken him out of the game.
Well, they have. I mean, he's 23rd in the nation, just under 98 yards per game receiving, averaging 23, like you said, Joel. They've also done a good job on Darren Sproles. Sproles only averaging 3.7 yards per rush. They've stymied him as well.
Mullins, a tight end in motion. Butchie Wallace, the single, gets it. Huge hole up the middle. It closed in a hurry, though. Still 4 on 1st down. He's chopped down by Justin Montgomery, the underneath tackle, the senior from Smith Center, Kansas. Well, Gochner, 7 for 14. Only 1 mistake, and Bob Pruitt mentioned that to Jim Knox. Thought he did a pretty good job. Put him in a position where they could succeed.
Right, he underthrew Watts on the comeback pattern. Could have been a touchdown. He threw the interception in the double coverage, which he shouldn't have thrown, but completing only 50%. Coming in, he was completing over 70.
Big hole, huge hole now. There goes Butchie Wallace. He's got a 1st down. This is a shock the way they're running the football against Kansas State. Kansas State, though, don't forget, their last 2 opponents won AA. So could you get a real barometer about K-State so far this year?
Well, here's the problem. They get blocked up front. But watch Washington. Here's the blocking. Everybody's sealed pretty well. Rashad Washington's the extra man right there. Rashad Washington misses the tackle. They bring the safety in late. 8th man in the box, and Rashad Washington misses the tackle one-on-one. Unblocked guy has to make the tackle.
Earl Charles in the backfield from the 35. He'll get it, bending it outside. And maybe a yard or 2. Already, though, Marshall's got more yards rushing against Kansas State than any other team. And we're at the outset of the 3rd quarter. Back to the keys of the game for the Thundering Herd.
Well, the biggest thing is turnovers. Boy, that has been the biggest reason they've got a 16-point lead. They've 16-10 lead. They've scored all 16 on turnovers. Yards after catch, not that big a factor. They haven't really gotten on track there. And they have gang tackled Sproles. They have not let him get going whatsoever. Holding him to 3.5 yards a carry is phenomenal.
Earl Charles, a junior from Brooklyn, the only one behind Gochner. Is it a check off at the line? Pick up the outside rush. Not enough, though. Gochner down, a sack. Brian Hickman off the edge.
And once again, that's a coverage sack. What Gochner has to get done is get the clock ticking a little faster in his head. Kansas State pressures him a little bit quicker than the Toledos of the world. Hickman beats the running back in blitz, in a blitz scenario. Here comes Hickman back, picking him up. Nowhere to throw the football down the football field. Hickman comes off the block. Gochner has to take it up into the line of scrimmage for the sack.
So now the third down play. Third and just about 11. Gochner out of the gun. This time he's got time, but he runs in the back of his own blocker. Losing yardage, another sack. Jermaine Berry there, the other underneath tackle, a junior from Wichita. And 3 and out with a punt.
3 and out with back-to-back sacks to put an exclamation point on that particular series.
Well, they
Pretty
did
good
get
pressure.
one first down. They did get one first down.
Watch the pressure. Pretty good all the way around. Late blitzer makes Gochner step up into the pocket. That's not his game, is to try to create.
Another low wobbler. Barrera. And no fair catch as he's dropped immediately. Good coverage downfield by Marshall's Dennis Thornton.
Yeah, he just threw Cedric Williams aside. Just threw him aside.
But a great field position for K-State. It's going to be Shin at quarterback, huddling with the offensive unit.
Well, Schwinn has been accurate, but just hasn't been enough happening down the football field for him. Did make a big mistake when he fumbled the snap and then tried to pitch the ball late. Ended up defensive touchdown to get Marshall right back into this football game.
That tied it at 7. On over a 90-yard return by Goddard. Sproles making a miss. Does it so well. The little guy spins. There's not much to grab when you're only 5'7". It's about 8 yards on the carry.
Yeah, no hitting surface, Joel. You're right. It's like trying to tackle a pectoral and a quadricep. You know, he gets a body lean going. He gives you nothing to hit. And he's just underneath you. I mean, football's a game of leverage. Look at him hide, then he's underneath you. Then his pad level's always lower than yours. And plus, he's got some thump to him. I mean, this guy squats over 800 pounds. He's a little low.
Second and double. Second and 2. They can't afford to use their timeouts like they did in the first half. They were out of timeouts 2 minutes into the second quarter. Schwinn checked off, throwing deep, looking for Terry. His first catch of the day inside the 25.
Pretty good coverage there by Willie Smith, but that was a great throw by Schwinn. When he was checking to that fade because he got the one-on-one coverage outside. 6'5". That's a guy you got to throw the fade to. He's such a size mismatch. And Schwinn got the play checked, and he got the ball airborne, and that's just a perfect throw because coverage is pretty darn good there. No question about that. Over the outside shoulder, Terry secures the football. Nice job. Nice throw, better catch. 35
yards, the first grab of the day for a guy who averages 23 a catch. Sproles after the deception to the backfield. Look out! Inside the 15, close to into the first down. He's got 8.
Number 43, Darren Sproles.
Finally, Charles Tynes, the weak side backer, grabbed him.
You know, he looks like a human pinball machine to me. The way he changes direction. I mean, he hits something, bing, goes one way, boom, the other way. Good blocking up front to get him started. He's not making. He's making us look at this cavity. I mean, he's making his first cut now. You know, beyond the line of scrimmage. Now here he goes. Whoop, get redirected. Beep, go this way, that way. That guy is tough to bring down one-on-one. You got to gang tackle him.
Sproles again. Can he turn the corner? Good job by the defensive back to turn him in off the edge. Roberto Terrell, the junior from Denellen, Florida. He shut that play down. Wouldn't let him go to the sideline.
Well, it sounds like, or it looks like Bill Snyder peeled paint in his delivery, the message he delivered to his locker room at halftime, because they came out ready to play. I'm sure he dressed them down pretty well. He wasn't satisfied with any phase of his football team. The report that Noxie gave us confirming that. And his team's responding defensively, back-to-back sacks to end Marshall's first drive of the second half. The offense driving to score.
It is still a first down. It was second and short. Now almost like first and goal. Sproles alternating his route. Started right, angled left. He's got 5 on first down to the 6.
And it also looks like, you know, of course, the big play to Terry, that was huge. But now Bill Snyder's saying, you know what, if we're going to come back and win this football game, we have to recapture the line of scrimmage. And that's right up the alley of this man, Wilson, the fullback. Boom. Pretty good smack. I'll tell you what, that's good contact right there. That's helmet to helmet.
Second and 5 at the 6. Sproles belted. What a shot by Tynes. The weak side backer again. You called his number a bunch in the first half.
I'll tell you, it's Tynes time. Tynes, he's everywhere. He's coming downhill now. I mean, that's good recognition and flying to the football.
And this is the new turf, and we were down there yesterday on it. Good spring, good cushion to it.
It is. I mean, it's not something that doesn't burn you up. This field turf, you know, used on the original artificial turf would just rip skin off your body. This field turf doesn't do that.
Back at the 7. Short side of the field option. Schwinn spinning, but he's short. Needed to go inside the 1. Willie Campbell, after the drive, started back at the Kansas State 36. Or will they send the place kicking unit out there?
Big decision for Bill Snyder. And Marshall's defense played that option well. They said, you know, we're not going to allow you to pitch it to Sproles, Schwinn. You're going to have to beat us. We'll take your pitch man away, make you turn it up. Bill Snyder saying, I'm going for it.
You don't think of him as a gambler, do you? But he needs 2 for the first down, 3 for the score.
And his defense, he felt, played well enough in that first drive for him to be able to make this decision.
In the eye. Sproles, short side option. Schwinn won't get there. He fails on 4th down. Marshall holds and gets the football back. What a stop.
It sure is. Big stop. Defense comes up large again for the Thundering Herd. Now Kansas State's defensive responsibility will be 3 and out and get the football back. Good field position for your offense. Marshall, see if the offense can respond to this defensive stand. Fake to the big fullback Wilson. Turns it up inside. That's just nice reaction by Marshall. Everybody played the option responsibilities exceptionally well. The final hit by Cope, doing a good job. He's the rover. He's the extra, basically the extra linebacker as such. He's like a mutant defensive back linebacker, half DB, and he came up large.
From the 2, Earl Charles in the backfield. Only back to the original line. Joel Myers, Dave Black, Jim Knox, College Football Saturday presented by Kia Sarah, and a shocker in the making. 7 minutes into the 3rd quarter with Marshall up by 6. Dave, you and I, along with our producer Bob Steinfeld, sat in a restaurant last week on a Friday night in Ames, Iowa, and we watched Toledo rush for 269 yards on Marshall. You got to believe that they looked at that film and thought that Kansas State was going to rip them, and all they were going to try to do was run the football.
And these
they prepared
guys,
well.
And this defensive line right here is the key to being able to shut it down. It all starts up front. And Marshall's defensive line we saw right there, taking a breather, has done a good job.
Now is there a hole? No. Nothing there for Earl Charles.
Now here's the big call. Does Bob Pruitt and his staff, do they play a conservative and say, okay, we're not going to turn the football over down here. We're going to punt it away into the wind, and Kansas State should get good field position. Or does he throw it on 3rd and long into the wind and risk turning the football over? Interesting call right here. Which way do you go?
Well, he's shortening the game right now by keeping it on the ground. As the clock rolls, it's 3rd and 9. At the 3. Darius Watts, the man to watch. He's going up against Cedric Williams on the near side. It'll be a safety coming over to help out. Watts on the out, no. Underneath instead, Davis won't get there, dropped at the 10. Josh Davis, good coverage. Williams coming over. So Marshall now 1 for 8 on their 3rd down conversion tries.
That's a very sure tackle by Williams in the open field. You know, we talk a lot about Watts, but Josh Davis coming into this season, the 6th best receiver in the country in terms of catches. Watts was number 1, and his teammate Davis number 6. Quite a duo.
The kicking game did not help. There's a flag on the play. Returnable for Morera at the 43. Looking for a block over to the sideline. Gets it to the 40, 35. A wall to the 20. Down to the 10. Loses his helmet. He spun down with another flag at the end of the play because there was a face mask by Clint Rose, the punter, to pull the helmet off of Morera. But what about the first one?
Let's see if Marshall had 7 men on the line of scrimmage. That's been called more than once illegal formation. Marshall signaling it's against Kansas State.
Well, special teams were. Forget about the flag. Special teams really hurting Marshall.
Well, I'll tell you, if this penalty's against Kansas State, that's a 50-yard penalty right there because they were fielded the ball at midfield. Kansas State being offsides is the preliminary indication potentially. If that is the case, what a huge mistake by the Wildcats.
You got a flag at the end, though, on a face mask.
Yeah, but if it's, I'll tell you, Bill Snyder, they're trying to sort this one out. And early, almost double clutch the signal right there. They're trying to determine. Now, is this an offset penalty?
Right, that's the point.
Is this offset? It's after the fact.
Offsides on the defense. Personal foul, face mask on the return. After the return, the penalty's offset. Fourth down.
Got to re-kick.
And that's the punter, Rose,
offset,
who hurt him. Bob Pruitt just can't believe what his special teams are doing to him.
Offside coming right here. Tries to time it. Oop, getting over the line of scrimmage too quickly. That's the offsides. That's the Kansas State penalty. And then the punter, as he's trying to bring Morera down, personal foul, face mask, offset, redo.
Otherwise, Marshall's got it 1st and 10 at the 15 after the 5-yard mark-off. Instead, they'll punt it over. A better one, Morera, backpedaling to the 44 and dropped.
Boy,
so a little bit better for Marshall.
Yeah, instead of 1st and goal.
Dennis Thornton on the coverage, and Marshall still clinging to a 6-point lead. College Football Saturday presented by Kia Sarah. Beautiful afternoon in Manhattan, Kansas. Just about an hour from Topeka, an hour from the thriving metropolis of Salina, Kansas. That's only 60 miles away.
Marshall's made a lot of improvements. They took care of the turnover problem they've had. They've been better on 3rd and 4th and short defensively. They've improved.
They'll give it to Sproles. There he goes into the secondary. Pulled down from behind. Otherwise, Tynes doesn't get him. And Atkins is there as well. He's gone.
He is quick. I mean, there's no question about that. He hits that line of scrimmage now, north and south. He hits that line of scrimmage before any defensive players can separate from blocks. He's into the secondary before the front 7 knows what hit him.
So Sproles with the carry now has 64 yards on 12 rushes. Schwinn in the counter action. Morera waiting for it. It took a while to get there. The play was just out of sync. Maybe too close to 3 on the pitch by Schwinn.
Seeing a different caliber of athlete.
Dr. Stain defenders are longest winning streaks of the nation. Ohio State trying to extend it. SC's got a week off. They're up to 11. The Trojans and Kansas State. Would it be 11?
Schwinn seeing a different caliber athlete out here defensively with Marshall. I mean, UMass and Marshall, 2 different levels of talent. Got to make quicker decisions against these guys.
Now on 2nd and 8. Schwinn looking for Morera behind him.
Pass is intended for number 10.
Coverage, Roberto Terrell. It almost worked, but well behind the intended target.
Third down 7, 27-yard line.
Today's first down line brought to you by Net Zero high-speed internet.
Big down right here. Huge, huge play for both football teams.
Neither doing all that well on 3rd down tries. There's Sproles tripped up. So he's knocked down shy of the 25. Not going for it on 4th down here. Instead, downwind. You'll see a placement. And a field goal attempt coming up.
It'll be about 44 yards in that range. 43, 44-yard attempt, counting the 10 yards of the end zone. But as you say, Joel, with that wind behind you, it's really mid-30s.
So outside of the 42, call it a 43-yard try. Dead downwind for Joe Ream. We had a field goal in the first half. He's now 6 of 7 in the season. Had a 42-yarder in the first half. Out of the hold of Dylan Meyer, it is dead perfect. So 43-yarder to go along with 42-yarder, and all of a sudden it's only a 3-point deficit for Kansas State in Manhattan.
Well, there's no question. Look at the company that he's in from a winning percentage standpoint. We talked about Northern Illinois, Joel. How good's Toledo? They beat Marshall last week.
And Northern Illinois beating Maryland. Yeah, tough one for the wide receiver. He didn't have a chance once the ball got out to Guillory. Randy Jordan on top of him. And it was actually Josh Davis over there.
Yep. Great reaction. Watch the reaction. Okay, I know this is the hitch. I'm coming up, beat Watts' block. Watts is supposed to block for his teammate. Watts didn't get the block done. His teammate, Josh Davis, got smashed in the huddle. Probably Josh Davis like, come on, Wattsy, do something for me out there.
So loss of 3. So much for the pass play on first down. Gochner out of the gun. Wallace in the backfield with him. And they're going to run it with the quarterback. Gochner to the 25. First down across the 30. Designed all the way for the quarterback. Instead of a little dump off with a screen over the middle, that was there, and I bet the offensive coaches look at that later.
Well, I'll tell you, Kansas State played straight zone, and everybody just took a huge drop. Linebackers just flying out of there underneath. There was nobody. Once Gochner broke the line of scrimmage, watch these guys fly out of here. I mean, they're just dropping out. Then nice blocking down the football field. Buell ends up pursuing it like he always does, but well after the first down.
Breathing room finally. Second first down of the second half for Marshall. Wallace. End of the 35, and that is it. Gain of a yard for Butchie Wallace, the senior from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
I thought Butchie Wallace in the first half averaging over 10 yards a pop. I mean, he had Darren Sproles-like numbers in the first half. And Sproles struggled to average just over 3 yards a carry.
The story so far, though, is this defensive unit from Marshall holding one of the highest scoring teams in the nation. Only 13 so far. K-State averaging 44 a contest. They've got 2.5 left in the third quarter. Now can they pick up about 9? Charles in the backfield, a play fake. Buying some time. Wide open, Josh Davis. Boy, they really punched him on that side of the field, flooded it. Lap. Got a first down.
That bunch formation is tough to defend. The closest defender in the area of the zone was a linebacker, and that's just not going to get it cut. Hickman. Now, is the pressure picked up? Yeah, it sure is. And they get Gochner out of pocket, change the launch point a little bit. And closest guy is Hickman. I mean, that's not going to get it cut. He's underneath, safety over the top. Big cavity in the zone, taking advantage of it.
And close to a late hit on the quarterback, but the 2 K-State defenders, they took each other out.
Yeah, knock each other off.
Weaving his way, Butchie Wallace. Good gain, almost 5 down to the 43 on first down. Injury update, Jim Knox.
Okay, Joe, real quick, Matt Butler, linebacker, just went out of the game a couple plays ago. Ted Sims took over. They're looking at Butler's right ankle right now, so he is on the sidelines. Thin linebacking position right now for K-State.
And Butler, a starter, was only one of 2 freshmen. And the 2 deep last year, playing in all 13 games. The middle linebacker, so Sims in there. 2nd and 5. Gochner calling his own number. Not a bad move at all. They thought they had him right at the line of scrimmage. Doesn't make any difference. Gochner spun away and got it down to the 40. Short of the first down by about a 2.5. Houchin finally gets to him.
He showed some make you miss. A little bit more mobility than I thought he had. He's not as stiff in that pocket. He's got some escapability to him.
He goes at 6'4", 225, a junior from Texas, Highland Village, transferred from Kilgore College. He had such great success at Kilgore. They were 17-3 in his starting games there as Stan Hill, who Bob Pruitt says is right there with Leftwich and the others he's had there.
Well, he runs
Jack Bennington.
4.640. He's faster than all of them.
Now on the edge, tight end available. Another first down. Jeff Mullins has it. Look out inside the 25. Great concept on the play call. Mullins inside the 23.
Well, just a great play. Great design. Tight end comes out of there late. Little tight end high misdirection. Watch this action. Here's the bunch on this side. routes run over here. Watch the tight end come out across the backfield, away from the bunch. Just a great design. Having the defense defend the bunch, comes across the formation away from it. Just beautiful play.
Butchie Wallace banging his way inside the 20. He's still on his feet inside the 18. What an effort to the 17-yard line. Is this a hungry group? And Dave, they have just shortened the game. And they're close to they're in the red zone now, but they started on that snap just barely outside of the 20.
And the thing, in the first quarter, Kansas State played keep away, had the ball for 11 minutes. Hasn't been that way since.
That is the end of the third 15 minutes of play. What a stunning upset it would be for Marshall if they can knock off K-State. It would be the first non-conference home loss for K-State since 1989. Marshall after 3, leading by 3, and you're watching College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net, presented by Kia Sarah. Time that K-State lost 10 games ago, 10-game winning streak. We were here.
Yeah.
It was Texas 17-14 on a Mangum field goal with a minute and a quarter left in the game. We may not be invited back.
Well, Marshall's got more to do with this than we do. There's no question about that. And Kansas State comes with a drive, scores a field goal to cut it to a 3-point game. And Marshall responds. I mean, Marshall's showing the resiliency, coming right back and putting themselves in scoring position.
Now 2nd and 4, first snap of the fourth quarter, end around, anything there, nothing doing. They tried Darius Watts. They just want to get the ball in his hands. You can't blame him. Williams over there, but try to get Watts some touches.
Yeah, Watts is so gifted.
T-Mobile game summary, Dave.
Oh, Marshall, there's 16 points off of turnovers. I mean, that's been the key to the football game. They were -9 coming in, +2 today. They only had 2 takeaways on the year. They got 3 today. Marshall just running the football. That's the big surprise.
And a big advantage for Marshall. They've got the wind at their back for the final 15 minutes of regulation. Now, after the loss, with the end around for Watts, it's going to be 3rd and 7. Plenty of time for Gochner, a bullet. And he's got the first down out of the lead. It depends upon the spot. Brad Bates, first catch of the game. What a time to come up with it for the junior from Chillicothe, Ohio. He missed most of last year with a knee injury. Does he get the spot he needed?
That was key, and they're going to bring the chains in. But Gochner doing a good job in the pocket. The protection's outstanding for him. He's standing tall in the pocket, goes to his 3rd option, gets his eyes backside, and checks down to his 3rd option on the play. For a quarterback to be able to do that. That means his offensive line has given him all day to throw the ball.
He's got it. 1st and 10 Marshall on a drive that started back at their own 20-yard line. Now, Bob Pruitt's group has been working with long fields all day long. While Kansas State has already started with the ball 3 times in Marshall territory. They've also started at their own 46-yard line and their own 36 this second half.
And the one time they had a short field, Marshall, they missed the field goal. They didn't take advantage of that short field.
So now it is going to be 1st and 10 inside the 13. Opening minute of the 4th. Butchie Wallace, the only one behind Gochner. What an upset it would be to pull this off with Gochner and not Stan Hill. Wallace, head up, finding a little room off the left side. Inside the 10 for 3+. Brought down by a Houchin.
Yeah, you talk about the quarterback you here at Marshall. Eric Kresser started it off, played with the Bengals. Chad Pennington, now the very successful quarterback with the Jets. Byron Leftwich, first round pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this guy Hill, I'll tell you, Coach Pruitt says he's got all the abilities those guys have as a quarterback, but he's faster. He runs a 4.6 40. But he's got that knee ligament damage that is costing him this game and maybe next week's.
Wallace again will single. Mullen slides the tight end on a wham play. And now instead, now what a pop on Gochner. Took a shot, but a big kid we mentioned at 6'4", 2 1/4, getting out slowly. Now let's also remind everybody what we saw Stan Hill on the sideline. It's a totally different story for Kansas State if L. Roberson's on the field.
Oh, no question about it. L. Roberson would be a huge difference maker. Hill and Roberson would have been a very interesting matchup. Watch Josh Buell. Boom. That's a thump right there. This is a guy that when he hits, he balances up as he moves, and his timing is perfect. He hits on the dead run, and when he hits people, he stones them.
Need to use a lot of play clock here. Gochner still shaking it out. Out of the gun. Quarterback draw. Up the middle. Diving inside the 5. Short of the first down. By a yard and a half. Almost 2. Buell again. Guy likes to get. He led this team in stops last year. He's the Big 12's Defensive Player of the Year. And Gochner, he needs to see the special teams come out there for a placement. He needs a break.
Yeah, right now he's not sure if he's back in West Virginia or in the state of Kansas. I mean, he got rung a little bit on that one. This is another design quarterback run. I want you to watch the block of Joey Step right here. Watch Joey Step finish. There's Joey Step. Finish, 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 finish. Ooh, take him down. That's a heck of a job by your center.
Now Kelly with a 22-yard field goal. It's up, and it's good. It's back to a 6-point lead after a 7-minute drive for the Thundering Herd. Chewed up a lot of clock. Kelly comes through, the sophomore place kicker. Marshall by 6. .7:31 off the clock. By far their best drive of the entire day.
Well, this team has the heart of a champion. 5 straight bowl wins, best in the nation. They've won 5 out of the 6 last Mid-American Conference championships. I mean, they've been in big games. They know how to win big games. They're champions. I mean, they're not going to fold over, roll over, and play dead for you.
Bob Pruitt 5-1 in postseason play. They're the only team in the nation that's won 5 straight in the bowls. Morera, a couple of yards deep, and decisively brings it out. Will it pay off? Dancing? No. Won't get to the 20. Shy by 2 at the 18. Now the pregame show of all pregame shows is back tomorrow morning. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy break down the Redskins' 2-0 start and whether or not they have what it takes to keep it up with the 16-game schedule. It's the Ford F-150 Fox NFL Sunday pregame show. It all starts tomorrow at noon Eastern. Getting ready for the NFC tomorrow on Fox. What a start to the NFL season.
I tell you, anybody can beat anybody on any given day. It's so true, as we're seeing in all levels of football.
Yeah, there's 8 out of the 32 are 2-0. That's it. Now throwing on first down. Schwinn throwing the ball away. Threw it out of bounds.
That's intentional.
And it's going to be grounding. Loss of a down and a mark off.
Yeah, you can't throw the ball away to avoid the sack. And that's what he did. He was in the grasp.
And Martin had him by the collar again. Martin's coming off the edge.
Playing big today.
Disregard the flag. The ball past the line of scrimmage. 2nd down.
Okay, well, you get it past the line of scrimmage. It's the college rule. Pick the flag up. In college, you got to get it back to the line of scrimmage or beyond. Schwinn realizing that, he just got it there. Boy, it's close. Very close.
2nd and 10 from the 18.
You saw it past the chain marker, though.
They double up over on the wide side of the field. Morera and Terry run the option in that direction. Schwinn gets 2, and that is it. Time for a Dr. Pepper game break. Let's head back to the studio now and check in with Bill Jones. Bill.
Joel and Dave, Texas Tech scored 28 points in the 4th quarter against NC State last year to force overtime. Down by 28 entering the 4th today. B.J. Simmons to Johnny Mack cuts the Wolfpack lead to 35-14. Could the Red Raider rally be on?
You never know. You never know with Coach Leach, and we were there last year.
We did that game last year.
We were out. I mean, we were totally out of it. At the end of that game, we felt like we played.
Oh, I'm telling you, Phillip Rivers was phenomenal in that football game. Cliff Kingsbury was as well. It was just a quarter shootout.
2nd and 8. Those are the games you pray for. Schwinn checking off at the line, changing the play.
Marshall changes their defense accordingly.
Trips over to the wide side. Schwinn throwing in coverage and well behind James Terry. Not close. 3 and out with a punt from deep in their own territory. And Marshall, because K-State's punting into the wind, should get it around the midfield stripe.
Marshall stepping up defensively. They're making the quarterback Schwinn change the play at the line of scrimmage and then countering by changing their defense. And the play clock won't allow him to make a 3rd change. They're adjusting to his adjustments.
Guillory is back with Royal. Royal over to the near side because of the way the wind is impacting this game. Normally it's only Guillory back there. Low snap, no pressure on the punter. Guillory lets it hit. And a Marshall hop all the way to the midfield stripe. So when we come back, Marshall's got great field position. How important would 3B for the Thundering Herd? As we'll be inside of 10 minutes after the first snap when they come back. Now Marshall in the driver's seat. They've got it at the Kansas State 49-yard line, leading by 6. Can they get 3 more and make it a 2-score game? Trying to upset the number 6 team of the nation with 10:19 to play in the 4th. Charles, big hole. That's the way they started the game, banging it straight up the gut.
Got a hold, though. They're gonna call holding on Marshall, I believe.
It'll come back. You're right, Dave. So a huge break for Kansas State on the first snap. Let's head downstairs to Jim Knox.
Okay, Joe, as you and Dave talked about the last offensive series, Gochner came off the field. He took a shot. Now, he took a shot in his left hand. He was holding it on the sidelines. He's okay. He did say to his offensive receivers, we got to stick one in the end zone. He says 6 points is not enough. Got to put one in the end zone.
Well, I think, first of all, the Josh Buell body blows are starting to take their toll on Gochner.
Yeah, he's going to be in the hot tub a lot tomorrow. He's going to be a sore young man. He won't have any trouble sleeping tonight. And Buell can deliver a hit.
They've been sliding the tight end, this time Rader in motion. Give it up top. Charles spun around. Otherwise, he's got big yardage. Instead, only 2.
Boy, Hickman did a great job of just closing that thing down. He came off the weak side of the formation and just really sliced it, made it a short corner. Here he comes. He's off screen right now. You'll see him come. Here he is. Watch him chase this thing down. That's a great play. I mean, just to cut the corner that tight. Now, if you're Marshall, you got to think, run a reverse. He's not staying at home for his defensive responsibility. He's chasing it. I think the coach is going to put that in their memory bank. There may be a reverse coming back there.
Kansas State could not afford to let Marshall get points on the drive. Receiver falls down. Almost a pick by Jordan. It would have been his second of the game after the receiver fell down.
And Jordan's disgusted with himself because the opportunity was there.
Watts was on the turf.
Yep. Watts slipped on the field turf. And Jordan, big cushion. Look at the cushion Jordan's given him. I mean, that's respecting the speed. Tries to plant for the comeback route, goes down. Jordan gets both hands on the ball and cannot catch it. An opportunity not taken advantage of as Jordan can't squeeze the football. It falls harmlessly to the turf.
Yeah,
Watts couldn't have stopped it.
Watts tried to punch it away from behind. You could see. He almost played defender on that. Charles in the backfield. They try to settle the middle screen. It was available earlier. Will it work this time? Breaking tackles almost. When Gochner took off on the quarterback draw, the middle screen was available, and I thought they called it later.
Huntley came with pretty good pressure, Joel. The big 6'8" defensive end. And watch Huntley's pressure inside. He beats the tackle inside, but still middle screen. Nice blocking down the football field. Kansas State eventually reacts and runs to the football. Pretty good call.
Glenn Rose blows it. Kansas State comes up with it. Off the edge, Keith Huntley. Coming up with the football. Their sack leader making the play on special teams. Well, the special teams have killed Bob Pruitt today.
Boy, the kicking game has been their Achilles heel. There's no question about it. It's cost them points, and now it cost them field position dearly. Kansas State only has to negotiate 44 yards of field. You know, offense, defense, the other phase special teams can't short hop the snap. Rose can't play shortstop. And how about Huntley? That's pretty athletic for a guy 6'8", 265 pounds. He's got some nice movement.
This is the 4th time they've started on this side of the 50 in Marshall territory. Yet Kansas State's only got 13 on the board. Fake it. Terry going for the home run ball. He's available. And it'll be interference and a catch.
Yeah,
what a grab inside the 12.
He caught it anyway. He got spun around. He said, that doesn't matter. I'm watching the football. Great concentration on the rock. Actually, the ball's underthrown, Joel. If he lays it out there, that's a touchdown. Terry has him beat. The ball's underthrown. Defender spins him around. Smith. Terry says, that doesn't matter. I'm still catching it. What a play.
That's only his second. The first went for 35.
Pass interference against the defense. Decline. First down.
Little misdirection. Fake the option. Now drop back to throw it. Terry ran a crossing pattern, and Terry was wide open. Ball underthrown. The only reaction you can make, you're trying to prevent a touchdown, is Willie Smith. Terry still catches it. That's great adjustment and concentration on the ball.
It was good for 32 yards down to the 12 of Marshall. Sproles sprints outside. He's in. Touchdown, Kansas State. A missed extra point earlier in the game by Marshall will cost him in this sequence, you'd have to think, if K-State can get their act together on specials. It'll be Joe Reen for the point after, trying to give the Wildcats the lead. It's out of the hold of the backup quarterback Dylan Meyer, the redshirt freshman from Pittsburgh, Kansas. Will it be a clean exchange? Yes. Kansas State has the lead. So Darren Sproles, slow start in the first half, making up for it in the second half. And the number 16 of the nation is on top. Riemel hit it into the wind, a stiff breeze of almost 25 miles an hour. Royal from the 9. Needs a return and gets a wall. To the 30. Good return all the way out across the 40-yard line. Just what the doctor ordered for the Thundering Herd.
Well, let's take a look at what happened on that drive. Rose can't handle the short snap. Huntley recovers, giving his offense great field position. Schwinn responds with a throwback pass off the option to Terry. Sproles finishes with a little counter run for a touchdown. 3 big plays, back to back to back. Will they be the straw that breaks the camel's back, or will Marshall respond once again?
So it didn't take long on the Nissan scoring drive. Quick scores. That has been the story this year for Kansas State over the first 4+. With Butchie Wallace in the backfield from the 40. Wallace breaks him out of the backfield. Still on his feet. He's got a first down. Going out of bounds. Inside K-State territory at the Wildcats' 48-yard line. A load.
I'll tell you, tip of the cap to the Marshall guys up front, particularly in the interior. Watch them come off the football here and just move Kansas State around. I mean, you're talking not holes, you're talking gaping holes. They're doing a heck of a job of knocking Kansas State around up front. The offensive line for Marshall is controlling the line of scrimmage against K-State's front four.
And what were the odds at this point in the game that Marshall would have 171 yards on the ground compared to Kansas State's 124?
Surprising.
It's a shock. Wallace again, trying to angle it, penetrating. Josh Poole, Big 12, Defensive Player of the Week, big time again, Jim Knox.
Hey, Joel, just answering the email. They wanted to see some body surfing off of a touchdown, and we're trying to do a little body surfing. You know what, guys? From my vantage point up here, there's enough purple that looks like a Barney's convention. Well, I tell you what, guys, this is quite a ride. What's the hands? What's the hands? Come on through.
A Barney's convention.
Oh, yeah, this is good. I get up here, guys. This is a great vantage point.
Actually climbing the stadium walls.
7.5 to play. Loss of 2. Gokner to the tight end. Mullins has it. Can't get away. Chased down by Hickman. Brian Hickman, the senior from Mesquite, Texas. Huge play. Honorable mention all Big 12er last year. Otherwise, it's close to a first down.
Very consistent football player. Linebacker out of Texas. And everybody knows high school football in Texas is big and important. That was a nice tackle with a much bigger body in the open field.
It's 4-down territory, possibly inside of 7 to play with the ball at the 47 of Kansas State. Marshall does have all 3 of their timeouts remaining, though. 3rd and a long 8, almost 9. They bunch him 3 over to the near side. Hickman off the edge. It's Watts. The grab is there for a first down. And check it on the far side. Brad Bates with his 2nd grab.
Boy, just a great effort by Bates to keep both feet in bounds and get possession of the football. That's good on Sunday. In college football, you only have to get 1 foot in bounds with possession. Bates, left foot. Ooh, right foot did, but doesn't matter. In college, you have to get 1. He had possession, left foot in, right foot not. It doesn't matter.
Well, Marshall, prior to that, only 3 for 12 on their 3rd down conversions. And a big hole. There goes Charles. Inside the 25, pounds it to the 23. Another first down. And don't forget, a field goal right now and another lead for the Thundering Herd.
Tip of the cap once again to the Marshall offensive line. They're a Thundering Herd up front, I'll tell you that. They are controlling the line of scrimmage. Kansas State can't get off the blocks. Nothing fancy. That's just a straight off tackle dive. And big yards. They responding once again like a champion are the Marshall Thundering Herd.
From the 23. 1st and 10 Marshall. Charles again. He goes low this time. Takes it down to the 19 for a gain of 4.
Tackled by number 7,
So many streaks on the line for Bill Snyder and Kansas State.
That time Bob Pruitt says, okay, we hurt him off right tackle. I'm going to hit right tackle a second way. I'm going to put my tight end Mullins in motion and have him kick out. So Marshall, once again, multiple formations, multiple looks, running the same play. That's good offense.
From the 19, 2nd and 6. Angling, breaking tackles, does it again. Earl Charles with another first down, and essentially, if they put it right at the 10, it's a 1st and goal, basically.
And, you know, they're saying, hey, you know what? Coach Pruitt brought his offensive line together and said, hey, if you want to win this football game, I'm putting the hat on you guys. Because all we're going to do is run the ball between the tackles. And you guys come off the line of scrimmage and sustain some blocks and see if we can just smash mouth football, run the ball right down their throats. This is what Kansas State normally does to people. It's happening to them today.
Basically 1st and goal outside of the 10. Bushy Wallace has taken over. Will it continue? He started to angle outside. Hit quickly and dropped by McGill, the defensive back up on the play. Well, Dave, you were talking about it earlier. Physically, they can match up in the trenches. In fact, they outweigh them on the offensive line by a pretty good margin.
Yeah, Marshall, look at the size of those guys. 6'4", 317 pounds. NFL teams are that size with the offensive lines. I mean, there's not size matchups is not a problem. And they've got pretty good feet. I mean, they're staying with Kansas State. Everything Kansas State tries to do from a movement standpoint, Marshall staying on their feet and executing.
Gochner out of the gun. 4 wide receivers. Watch the single. The only one on top. Gochner calling his own number inside the 5, and they'll get him just shy of the 2. Kid's got guts.
He does. He's playing hard, and he's playing dinged up a little bit now. He's been knocked around a little bit. Kansas State, defensively, their mantra is to limit this to nothing but a field goal opportunity. Marshall pumps this in the end zone right now and kicks the extra point. Kansas State has to score and convert a 2-point conversion just to tie the football game. No, I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong end of it. Marshall, if Kansas State holds this to a field goal opportunity, they can win the game still with a field goal. If Marshall pumps this into the end zone, they have to score a touchdown with less than 4 minutes to go.
Would it be Wallace? Gochner under his center, sliding the tight end. Play fake, looking for the tight end. Touchdown, Marshall! Wow. Jason Rader wide open. They used it earlier in the game, slid him along the line. He hit well, and unaccounted for once again, Rader with the touchdown.
And that's just a great job by Gochner, because I tell you, he took a hit at the end of this. Little misdirection. You see the tight end sliding behind the formation. He gets smacked. Scholl puts a big hit on him. But you know what? He's saying, I'm going to look because I know he was wide open. I'm going to celebrate the touchdown.
He almost put it on his hip pad. Now they've got to go for 2. That's an automatic. Trying to make it a 7-point lead. Can you spell overtime? 3:34 to play in regulation.
Boy, that's no given there. That's for sure. This is a big play right here, though.
Butchie Wallace, the other one behind Gochner. Trips.
There's Watts. There's Watts.
Looking underneath, it's there. He fell down right at the line. Do they give it to Josh Davis? I think so.
They got to.
He should have.
Yeah, he did.
Josh Davis with a two-point conversion because it looked like he caught the ball across the line
now,
and then fell forward.
Well, the ball, remember, it doesn't matter about his body. His body wasn't a question. It's where's the ball, and the ball crossed the plane of the goal line for the 2 points. And it did. Good call.
Freshman, but he danced a little bit too much. He wasn't enough north-south. So now, crunch time, it's Darren Sproles.
And your best player on the field now, El Roberson, not being able to play, is Darren Sproles. So you want him to touch the ball whenever possible. So you have him returning the kickoff.
Ian O'Connor will kick it away. Downwind. Can he kick it out of the end zone? Take Sproles out. He does. Big time by Marshall. After the breakdowns they've had in their kick and return teams. And more the kick and punt teams than anything else.
You know,
so now Kansas State at their own 20.
You look back at that play, Joel, when Schwinn threw the ball to Terry for the big play into the wind. That's why it was underthrown. Into that 25-mile-an-hour gust, that was a heck of a throw because if that wind's not there, Terry scores easily, but the wind knocked it down, preventing the big touchdown.
And let's go back to the thought with Bill Snyder. He did not want to rush El Roberson back, as today's first down line is brought to you by NetZero high-speed internet. So Roberson has been on the sideline. It's been tempting. He's been in uni. He's had the helmet on, but he has stayed on the sideline next to Bill Snyder. Now Schwinn calling his own number, trying to bounce outside, but the linebacker wouldn't let go. Big play by Tynes. He's done it all day, though. Downstairs we go. Jim Knox.
Hey, Joe, I tell you what, Graham Gochner took another shot to the head right there. The trainers were checking him out, giving him the old number sign. I don't even know what state he's in right now, but he is in a great deal of pain right now. Shot to the head. We'll see if he can come back here after this series.
And what about the state of affairs of Jim Knox after the body surgery?
I'm telling you, he looked pretty, not worse for the wear there. And Gochner, the state of mind he's in is happy right now.
2nd and 7. Plenty of time, and almost intercepted. Right through the hands of the linebacker up top. Herrera was the intended target.
Boy, Brian Casey was wide open. Brian Casey, the tight end, nobody covered him underneath. Nobody was within 10 yards of him, and Brian Casey could not believe that Schwinn never looked at him. Nobody was anywhere near him on that play. Would have been
now 3rd and 7, Dave. K-State is only 2 for 9 on their 3rd down tries. That's the tight end you're talking about. When they find him this time, they need 7. Take it to Sproles. Nice pop. The tight end's the guy, and it's off the fingertips. You called it. Casey went back. The coordinator upstairs also saw he was available.
I'll tell you, what a great block by Sproles. Darren Sproles, I mean, just absolutely detonates the blitzer, but Marshall does a good job. Bracket coverage, linebacker underneath, safety over the top, safety coming like crazy. Casey at 6'7", just can't quite make the play on the ball. What a block by Sproles, though, giving Schwinn time to throw the football. Incredible blitz pickup.
Well, this late, Kansas State is going to go for it. They've used a very valuable timeout. They've got 2 left in the contest. 2:48 to play, and the number 16 of the nation on the ropes, trailing by 7, 27-20. So Schwinn will talk it over with his head coach, and Terry came back in. He had not been on that play and came back in for 4th down. You got to believe number 5 is in the plan.
And the throwback pass off the option isn't there. They've already used that. They hit Terry with that big time to set up the touchdown run by Sproles. So the next gimmick play that you've got that's sound enough to get you 7 yards to move the chains is what Coach Snyder's thinking about right now. You got to come up with something, or else basically the ball game's over. I mean, Marshall get the ball at the 23-yard line with a 7-point lead. Less than 3 minutes to play.
K-State did not convert earlier when they had it inside the 5. On a 4th down, they needed 2 for a first down, and it was at the 3. Could have gotten the touchdown, but they dropped the quarterback on an option.
Marshall has not started a season 1-3, Joel, since 1983.
That was their last losing season, in fact.
Yep.
When they finished 4-7. Now out of the gun. Here's the game. 4th and 7. Underneath, Casey's got it. The tight end comes through with a first down to the 32.
Boy, he sure does present himself as an available target at 6'7". Hard to miss the big fella. You look down the field, you say, where's the sequoia? Oh, there's the tree. Get it right in there to him. He's very athletic for 6'7", 270.
That is his 3rd grab of the contest. 3 for 67. And he keeps the hopes of the Wildcats alive with 2:40 to play. From the 32. Running in time again. Good pocket protection. Intercepted. Picked off. Jumping in front. Gladstone Coke, the rover back. He jumped the route perfectly.
Gladstone Coke is a combination linebacker, defensive back. In the running game, he's got to play linebacker. In the passing game, he's got to play defensive back. He certainly was on that play. Just looking at the eyes of Schwinn. Good route recognition, jump the football. You know, he's saying, all right, now, I'm reading the quarterback's eyes. I know where the quarterback's going with the football. I'm jumping the route.
And I'll tell you, he really hid well behind Herrera and then slid on the hip.
He did, and he made just a great break on the football. His recognition was outstanding. His break was even better.
So another turnover, so costly at the end of the game. Banging it straight ahead. Butchie Wallace. Now they need to just chew up the clock, get 2 there. A field goal, of course, would knock Kansas State right out of the top 10. Kansas State with only 2 timeouts remaining. Do they use one here?
And it's obvious that Coach Bob Pruitt is happy with this particular victory. Coach Snyder could not get El Roberson in the game, Joel. He wasn't ready to play physically.
Don't jump the gun. Seen too much and too many balls on the ground today. Once again, Wallace, the single, 2 tight end set. Wallace. They can get a first down, you're right, it's over. Now they stop it because it brings up a 3rd and 6, almost 7. Gochner just wants ball security now to hang on to it, hand it off again. It's downwind, so a long field goal could do it. Arkia Serra, meet a play of the day. Last one, Coke saving the day potentially.
Schwinn staring his receiver down, Herrera, and Coke said, I see where you're going. I'm breaking on the football and I'm making the play. Just a great effort. Tremendous play at a very, very critical time of the football game, giving his team a short field with a 7-point lead. And the way Kansas State has struggled, except for the one drive, Joel. They had the actually three big plays in a row that started with a bad snap. Marshall punter Coke, he could not handle the snap. Rose, and it all unraveled from there. The option throwback pass to Terry, and then the touchdown by Sproles. And that's been it.
The biggest surprise besides the scoreboard is what Marshall's been able to do on the ground today. Nobody thought they'd be able to run the football like they have.
And really stopping Kansas State's running game as well. I mean, they dominated the line of scrimmage, and I don't care what level of football you're playing, Pee-wee, high school, college, or pro.
What'd you call me?
If you win the game at the line of scrimmage, usually you're going to win the big picture.
So one more time out for K-State, and Dave's talking about the 205 yards that Marshall picked up. 250 of the first 4 combined against K-State, and only 127 for the team that's ranked 11th in the nation in rushing yards. And that's the Wildcats. And now they can ice it with a first down.
Watson Davis side by side.
4 wide receivers setting up. Quarterback draw, why not? Gochner, if he can break a tackle, still sets it up nicely for the field goal try. Down to the 28. It'll be about a 45, 46-yard attempt to put it away in a timeout call.
Kansas State has blocked 3 punts and they blocked a field goal. They're going to make every effort to block this one.
That's over the first 4 games of the season. Can they turn it up a notch and get their first of today's contest?
Huntley's hurt.
Huntley is on his way.
Yeah.
Well, our Dr. Pepper, player of the game. And you go back to the ground game of Marshall. Butchie Wallace, 112 yards on 17 carries.
That's an incredibly efficient yards per carry. And Butchie Wallace was very decisive. I mean, he got upfield in a heartbeat. He had huge gaping holes to take advantage of. Butchie Wallace played well. His offensive line might have even played better. If I had my choice, I'd give it to 5 men up front that were men today. The Marshall offensive line.
Guys that would be eating 2-pound porterhouses with you later tonight if possible.
No doubt about it. Throw down a little celebration beef.
Now, to put it away, Nick Kelly came through earlier. Can he do it again? He's already got a 33-yarder. This will be a 45-yard attempt. Long enough, but wide right. He pushed it.
Yep.
Kansas State still has a shot. Unbelievable. So K-State will get it back in decent field position. They've got a timeout on the board, 1:27 remaining.
Boy, how many points have they left on the field due to lack of execution in their kicking game? Well, at least 7.
7 right now. 2 missed field goals and a missed extra point.
And Coach Pruitt can't believe it. And then the bad snap basically got Kansas State on track for the short field to score their touchdown to give them a lead in this football game before Marshall came back and recaptured the lead.
Sproles the only one in the backfield. Don't forget, every first down, the clock is stopped for the movement of the chains. So they could afford to run it, and they'll try to with Sproles under the dump off. Now, going to get to the boundary. He doesn't get the first down. That's costly. If you can't get to the marker, you've got to get to the sideline.
And, of course, they're in their hurry-up 2-minute offense. Plays called, multiple plays called.
Let's remind everybody, though, it's not L. Roberson, the regular. It is Jeff Schwinn, their 5th-year senior, a former walk-on, looking for a first down. Now he's in trouble. First down. Terry's there. He's got the reception to the 45. One thing, you got to give Schwinn credit. He did not panic when the first and second were not available.
He didn't. And his offensive line gave him plenty of protection because Marshall only rushed 3 and they dropped 8 into coverage. What Terry did was come back and make himself available to the quarterback. When your quarterback's in trouble, keep coming back to him and say, here I am, here I'm the target, and he got him the ball.
First and 10 for the 45. Schwinn, great pocket protection. It finally collapsed. Grab his man, another first down. Diving down to get it. First catch of the day for Davin Dennis.
Big play. You have an injured Marshall defensive lineman. Reggie Hayes is having trouble getting up. He's trying to get off the football field under his own power, but once the medical staff comes on the field, they stop the clock. Hayes finally working his way to the sideline.
19-yard gain of the play.
So 19 of the completion with a sophomore from St. James, Louisiana. Now, what a time for him to come up with his first grab of the day. They bunch 3 over to the far side. Pocket holds up, passing lanes there, going deep for Terry. Jump ball in the end zone. Incomplete. No flag on the play.
Double coverage. Schwinn said, you know what, my guy's 6'5". I'm going to throw it up there and see if he can make a play. And once again, remember, Schwinn is throwing into the wind, and the wind is significant. Terry gets one hand on it, can't get 2. And pretty good defensive position by Willie Smith. Willie Smith's the guy that prevented that from being a touchdown.
And he located the ball just as it was coming in.
He
if he doesn't turn his head around, you may see a flag.
Exactly. He found the football and made a play for the ball.
Now, 2nd and 10 on the Marshall 36. The blitz off the edge. Look out. Screen the other way. Sproles spinning into the secondary. First down, will he make it? Down the sideline. No. First and goal at the 3. They picked the wrong side to blitz on.
Boy, what a call. It's almost like Bill Snyder was in the headset of the Marshall defensive call of Bill Wilt. Bill Wilt said, I'm going to bring 2 to the front side, pressure to the front side to Schwinn. They ran a screen to the weak side. And then Sproles does his thing. He just starts making people miss. Not real great blocking up front, but he said, you know what, Gladstone Coke, you might have made the interception, but you're not going to tackle me. He made Coke miss, and then the rest is inside the 5.
25 seconds left. Schwinn, not there. Quick snap, and they don't have a timeout.
Spike it.
They do not have another timeout.
Got to spike it to stop the clock and make a play on 3rd down.
They will spike it. Now 10 seconds remaining, so an interesting call with a flag down. I bet they didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage.
And did Marshall line up onside? I'm sure they did. You got to be set for a full second. Were they set for a full second?
The ball's not ready for play. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
So it's going to be 2 snaps anyway. They move it back, a little more space for the passing game, but that was a strange call on first down.
Well, they were so successful. Remember the quarterback sneak they ran early in the game? They washed it 4 yards into the end zone.
That's when you had all day to get up.
Right, when they thought, well, let's try it again and see if Marshall defended it. And Marshall made the adjustment and defended it a lot better.
They wind the clock. Here we go. They've got to hurry, and now they spike it. 8 seconds left. So you're going to see 1 in the corner for Terry before it's all over. You got to believe there's going to be a fade in the corner.
Well, and the other guy that I wouldn't forget about is the big tight end who stepped up large in this football game. Brian Casey, 6'7". Your tight end in the red zone is a nice option, particularly as athletic a tight end as Casey is. One of those 2 guys, Terry or Casey, the way this game has unfolded.
Now Marshall has called their first time out of the second half. And not a bad idea to set things up defensively. Do you believe it? Inside the 7. Only 8 seconds on the clock. We remind you College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Kia Sarah, the new value frontier. Also by Dr. Pepper. BU, nothing's better. It's Dr. Pepper. By WebMD, redefining modern medicine. And for the latest in sports news, entertainment, a whole lot more, don't miss the best damn sports show, period. Joel Myers, Dave Lappin, Jim Knox in Manhattan, Kansas. This is what happened the last time we were here, 10 games. That's the winning streak. It was stopped prior to that when we were here last time in October. Texas with a field goal to the final minute. And back to the blitz and the screen.
Watch him make Coke miss. That was the big play, making Coke miss right there. Then he runs through some arm tackles. Then he turns on the overdrive. And boy, that's a touchdown-saving tackle right there. The angle had a good enough angle to knock Sproles out of bounds. Because if he gets inside the pylon, we're looking overtime right now.
Now remember,
absolutely, and spreading the field with 3 wides.
Can they get 2 snaps? Looking over to the left side to Sproles. Won't make it, better get out of bounds. So 1 snap is going to determine whether or not Kansas State extends this game into overtime. He tried to look off Sproles as long as he could.
Yeah, he did, and I'll tell you, I liked my big tight end on that play. I thought Casey was available. Watch Casey run this little pivot route in the standing position. Watch the pivot route that he runs. Takes it. Now look at him right there. Whew. But of course they reacted to the football. But Casey with a tight end option smash route is not a bad option.
So now, in only the 2nd career start of Jeff Schwinn, he feels like the weight of the world is on his shoulders. This is the ball game, 4th and goal. Then trips over to the near side. The throw into the end zone. Off the fingertips, and Marshall prevails. The upset is complete. Marshall shot to the number 6 team in the nation, the Kansas State Wildcats.
Off the hands of Davin Davis, and he made a great effort to make a catch on the football. Just could not quite get it done. What a game.
A deep underdog. The Thundering Herd of Marshall from the Mid-American Conference knock off Kansas State. Down to Jim Knox.
Thank you, Joe. Coach, congratulations. You pulled off the shocker. Catching your breath on the last play. What a defensive stand.
Well, our guys played great all day. We told them we had to come in here, play hard, trade hit for hit, and I thought we came in here, we were as physical as they were, and we made plays when they made plays.
How did you run the football against this stiff Kansas State defense?
Well, we felt like we could run the ball. We've got 2 great backs, and our line is coming along, and we felt like we had to run the football to win and stop the run. We did a pretty good job of both today.
How about the job Graham Gochner did? Did a nice job orchestrating this offense.
Wonderful. He did a wonderful job, and I tell you what, I can't hand it to these kids. We've had some adversity. We come in here a little wounded and we come away with a win.
Okay, you almost got Tennessee on the road. Now you knock off the number 6 team in the nation. Sum it up for us. What does it mean?
Awesome. Awesome.
Congratulations, Coach. Joe?
All right, Knoxie,
awesome.
An unbelievable effort by the Thundering Herd. They were shorthanded. Their backup quarterback, just like K-State. The final look at Davin Dennis's attempt.
Oh, and he goes, good ball. I mean, just a perfect throw by Schwinn. And man, just off the fingertips. He sold out, went totally prone, did Davin Davis Dennis could not quite come up with the football. Unbelievable play.
So the Wildcats losing a non-conference game at home for the first time since 1989.
Wow.
And it was also a Mid-American Conference team.
The old Mac attack.
Back then.
The old Mac attack.
For Dave Lappman, Jim Knox, I'm Joel Myers. Thanks for joining us. What a ball game. Marshall by 7 over the number 16. Kansas State 27-20. First and 10 provided by PVI Virtual Media Services, LLC.